Fly without boarding pass. Couldn't catch me, I'll be moving fast. Call me a shooting star. Let them know who you are. Flying up in a bar. Wish on a star. Time to show them who's in charge. Call me a shooting star. Didn't even get to cross. I said I'm moving too far. Get to glass. Looking at a shooting star. Got more than a couple of people going mad. I swear they're rooting hard. Tell them I'd be big in the game like she went and got them breast implants. I said I'm moving too fast. Didn't even get a glance. I'm ready to eat up track like I'm seated in a restaurant. If you had swag like mine, you know it's best to flaunt. We aren't hating because you aren't. Shining like it's neon. Rock like kings of Leon. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, they might just have to leave. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, they might just have to leave. Yeah, shoot, yeah, shoot, yeah, shooting, yeah, shooting shots. Shooting stars. Didn't even get to cross.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away? Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away?
What's happening, everybody? We're back. Spurs are playing football. The pre-season has begun. The aftermatch shows are back. And there's plenty to talk about after this game. The good, the hysteria, the exciting, and the way over the top. But we will get into it. We've got one of our own, Mari and Lee. We've got the number one female content creator for Spurs, Ellie, a.k.a. Queen Ellie Hoybier. You know she's the best. We've got James and Anthony, the voice of reason. And we've got that balanced or a bit off the charts, Michael and Dan. You've got a bit of everything tonight, everyone. Enjoy.
I never expected to be in that group.
Do you know what I was making up as I was going along, if I'm honest with you, Michael? I didn't know where I was going with it. After Ellie being the number one female creator, I thought, where do I go?
I'm just the number one female.
Anyway, big up everyone in the chat. Smash like, subscribe. Thanks for being here tonight. Make sure you follow Dan Hotspur Hood and Queen Ellie's channel. Ellie, what channel are you now?
Right, do you want to know? Okay, Spurs Diehards TTID.
There you go. Spurs Diehards TTID. Make sure you follow that one as well. So, what can we say? Spurs destroyed Hearts 5-1. It was the youth that stepped up in this game. some concerns over the existing so-called older players. We'll get into it for sure. 1-1 at half-time, and then Spurs made loads of subs. We'll go through them in a minute. Hearts made loads of subs as well. And it effectively, in the second half, it was a youth match. It was Hearts youth versus Spurs youth. So it wasn't really Tottenham v Hearts. It was 2 under-21 teams going at it, I guess. The starting lineup for Spurs was Austin in goal, Pedro, Porro, Archie Gray, Skip Donnelly as the back four, Basuma, Madison, Kulusevski in the middle, Johnson, Son, Solomon across the top. And then on the bench, Whiteman, Gunter, Spence, Royal, Phillips, Robson, Hall, John, Bergvall, Divine, Moore, Veliz, Santiago, Lancashire, Werner and Scarlett. A lot of youth there. Only really Timo Werner and Emerson Royale, really the more senior players on the bench. Listen, good second half performance from Spurs, but we didn't really have competition. We played another youth team, I felt. We deserved to win. The stats prove it. We had 72% possession, 22 shots, 6 on target, 10 blocked, 90% passing success rate, 7 clear-cut chances, 11 corners. We literally doubled everything that they did, other than passing and, well, stats, we tripled that. It was a dominant performance, deserved to win, comfortable, I felt. But where does that leave us, guys? Should we be excited? Are people getting carried away? I've heard tonight that Foden, Mikey Moore's the new Foden, Bergvall is the new Pirlo. Apparently, Mikey Moore is the new Gaza. You know, it's all kicking off. We're going to win the league. I don't want to take anything away from it. There were some good performances, but I just want to be realistic. I don't want to get all, still negative and all that. It's not that.
Yeah.
Hearts weren't good. And it's very difficult to judge where we're at. I actually thought the best youngster on the day was Jed Spence. I mean, you guys tell me what you think. I thought Spence was the standout one of the lot. We need to talk about him. I thought Veliz and Scarlett were all 2 youngsters that, for me, didn't do anything. Mikey Moore looked really good. Bergvall, nice touches, plays with his head up. Better than some of the starters that we've got at the club. So there's plenty to discuss. Mari, you can go first. How do you feel about it? What do you think?
It's hard. It's a preseason game. I was actually happy to see the kids because that's what I want to see. Numerous times we've talked about the academy on this channel a little bit too much, but we got to see it today. So tale of 2 halves. The first half, I thought first team should have played better. I want to give a shout out to Gerard Taylor, who's Costa Rican. Costa Rica is in my heart. He played a great first half for Hearts. I thought he was their best player, and they should have been up 1-0, which would have been interesting. The guy, the Japanese forward, completely missed, but that first half he was bossing us and made some great blocks. Gerard Taylor for Teresa. He just recently signed with Hearts and just came to Copa America, so he's running on all cylinders. The first half, I thought the place has some rust. Sunny here and there, a little bit of rust, but then a great save by their keeper. So it's preseason, so you can't really look too much into it. But for the most part, looking at the second half, what's the kid's name? Will
Lancashire.
He's one of the highest scorers in the academy. He scored a beautiful goal. I'm thinking, hey, give this kid a chance. We need a striker. I know in the chat that you posted stuff that we need a striker. You can desperately see that we need a striker, and give this kid a chance, right? I mean, all he did was score goals for the academy, so hey, put him in. I agree. What's his name? Scarlett Dane. Man, has to do better. Belize. I know a lot of people have questions about Belize. I think he's regressed, and maybe shouldn't have left Argentina that early because he did look good. He had a chance to score, and he was just way off. But I will agree with Stell. I thought Spence was, I mean, one of the best shows I've ever seen from him. Probably the only quality showing I've seen from Spence. So, like I said, not too much to look into it. Gray was okay. Mikey Moore, he's okay, but let's calm down with the Yamal comparisons or Phil Foden comparisons. And Bergvall, yeah, So it's preseason, and I think the most important thing is we got to see the kids. They got to play. Hopefully, a couple of them will be embedded if they're ready. If Ange thinks they're ready.
Michael?
I just want to urge people to be reasonable with their assessment of the game, as I think plenty of you mentioned in the background when we were talking. It's just a preseason game against Hearts, so there is no need to go over the top one way or the other. I think I didn't really enjoy watching let's call them the first team. I think the makeshift defense was was lucky not to concede more, which is absolutely shocking to say, but unfortunately that's the case with the way we approach games, right? And then listen, I'm not going to blame anyone in that defense for not performing up to a standard, right? We had center mid playing as left back, we had center mid playing as center back, two center mids actually playing as two center backs. So that's not the point, right? What I want to say is that I've already seen people saying either Archie Gray was brilliant and he's a generational talent, and I've seen people say, oh listen, this guy is shit because they didn't perform. It's just the first game, so no need for me to make such drastic statements, right? And it goes the other way too, as you guys mentioned already also, right? It's no reason to call Bergvall Tony Kroos or whatever, right? We played against Hearts for 15 minutes in the second half, and then they brought on their academy, and their academy was clearly worse than ours, right? And thankfully our academy showed that they're capable of beating that academy, right? Which I'm happy about. It was nice to see them play with a bit of freedom and a bit of. I felt in the second half I felt a lot more motivation coming from the players. I felt like many of them actually want to impress and want to show that they are capable of doing something, right? And this is what the preseason is for. If any of them impress Ange, I hope that they are included in the squad for the upcoming season, and that's it, right? Not much more to say in that case. And I know we'll go through the game, so yeah, that's it for now.
James, last season, pre-season, we played a lot of kids. As soon as the season started, no kids, and that's how it stayed for the season. Do you think it's going to be different this time, or is it just a case that most of our first team players, they're either taking a break after the Euros or Copa America, and therefore the kids are getting chances? If they're back, they're going to come straight back in because they're going to need to get their match fitness for the Premier League after their short break. And this youth we saw today is just a case of the first teamers aren't available. Because the first teamers are available, they all started today. Madison, Kulu, Brennan Johnson, so on.
I think obviously to answer that question alone, I think our youth this season are closer to our first this season than last season, if that makes sense. So last season's first team, I think there was a bigger gap between the first team and the youth, whereas now I think our first team have dropped and our academy has got better, so the gap's smaller. So therefore, I think that we're likely to see a lot more youth players getting minutes compared to last year. But I mean, I've been lucky enough to see a lot of academies, and I'm lucky enough to go watch my kid and things like that. And I mean, you coach, you'll probably know this, but the good kids or the more talented kids are 9 times out of 10 the kids that are brave. And the one thing I did see the second half was a hell of a lot of bravery, a lot of through balls, looking football up. Like normally, if you look at like England, as like Declan Rice first touch backwards, like that's the sign of somebody that hasn't got the confidence or the ability to play forward, and that's where you got to give credit to Mikey Moore, Bergvall, players like that. They play with a head up. They're never looking down. They're always looking for the next pass, and I think that is crucial for Ange's style football, if you like. So I'd like to think that they will get a bit more game time, if not a lot.
Dan, what do you think about that? Do you think we're going to get a chance next season, or is it a case of challenging for the league, according to Ange? So he can't afford to play the kids because they're going to make mistakes and they're going to need time to adapt to Premier League football, not Scottish Premier League youth football, which is.
Well, with that, I'll go with what James said. He made some solid points there, where I do believe the youth team is that bit closer as such. And I definitely did like the way Donnelly played, because I mainly only saw the first half and bits and bobs of the second half, basically. And I think a couple of the younger players we saw today definitely were more interested in the game than the regular players as such. Like they had a point to prove, which is how they should feel at that time. The thing I've got the questions with on it, though, is will they actually be allowed to play that way? Because with what you said with suiting Angie's system, no, I've got to disagree with that bit. Angie's system is get the ball up front, hold on to the ball, tippy-tap about for 15 minutes, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, whatever, and then we usually lose it until we can walk it in the back of the net. That's how I see the way he plays. I want more players with imagination that are going to do basically what you said. I mean, that Bergvall, from what I saw of him, cocky little boy, comes across like a bit of an attitude, like Maddison sort of thing. I think we need a few more things like that in the team.
Dan, you know, when you say what I said, what did I say? When you say what I said, what did I say? As in, remind me.
James.
Me. About them playing, like he said about their style. My answer to that would be is a lot of the time we look to play the wingers down the line. And last season, we never played a pass forward. I think if you've actually got young, hungry people, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I think Will Lankshire's natural ability as a striker, look for the gaps and make the runs and get his shot off early, is fantastic. I actually think Dane Scarlett's got that really well. He just can't finish his dinner. His movement's fantastic, but everything else is dog.
He's going to be gone, in my opinion.
Yeah. I
He's
agree.
going to be another one we sell. I mean, I'm agreeing with basically everything you say. The point I'm making is, are they even going to be allowed to play that way? Because it seems like when we're up front, nobody wants to take that chance unless it's an 80% chance of the ball's going to go to the person. And we don't hardly ever do any special balls in there or take any chances up front unless there's an 80% chance that the pass goes through. We take more chances in front of our own bloody goal than we do the other end. This is where I question, will Ange let them play like that? Because I think the ones that you've said, it's definitely got potential in there and they've definitely got imagination. It's just, is Ange going to adapt?
Is that fair is that fair to say that, though? Because Maddison was doing all of that in the first 10 games before he got injured. He was pulling the strings, playing those balls. So I know you can't sort of say like that, but it's not fair to say, is Ange going to let him do it? You can't then expect... Bentancur doesn't do that style of football. Højbjerg is absolute trash. Okay. Sorry, Eddie. He's awful.
Then why is it
passes forward? If you've got no one to play passes forward, if you've got no one to play those passes forward, then how do you play football?
Brilliant.
When Maddison started playing again, he started.
All right. So does that mean that Lo Celso's good, Ellie? Ellie, does that mean Lo Celso's good?
Don't call my player trash.
Listen, we'll come on to Højbjerg and others a bit later. I just want to get everyone's initial opinions first before we go after each other.
Well, last quick point I make to you then, James, is why is it when Maddison came back, you hardly ever see him take a chance with a ball? He did what everybody else did.
That's not Ange's fault, is it?
Well, isn't it the way Ange has told them to play? Because they was all doing it. And in the first 10 games, he's taking the chances left, right and centre. with the cocky ball over that might only have a 30% chance of working, but that's what a playmaker does. All of a sudden, he's only making the tic tac next to him.
Yeah,
like the
I
rest
can only
of the team.
answer that from like I don't know what Andrew's saying, but I doubt Andrew's saying we won our first 10 games playing this style. Now stop playing this style and do something different.
Well, how comes the whole style changed then up front?
Because I believe that the players dropped off in it, and the player like Maddison did not play those balls. Look, if you look at Maddison versus Saka in the Arsenal game, he beat Saka, turned down, run down the line. When did he do that ever again? That's not Angie's fault.
If you look at Maddison, the last 5 seasons, from January onwards, every season except for one in the last 5 years, his drop off in assists and goals is massive.
Yeah.
And we were warned about this from Leicester fans. So this could be a player issue, but then it's on Spurs to identify.
It's not consistent.
I want to come to Lee. I want to come. Let me just quickly come to Lee. I will come back to people. Got a super chat from Ben Hobbs and Broomsticks. Big up to you, my man. He says, Berg will look a real player, very, very silky. And I just want to quickly say to Julian, I didn't say every signing is made by Ange. I said that's what Ange said. Ange said it's on me. I never said it is. I questioned Ange, calling him a yes man and towing the corporate line, and that some signings that the club are making, rather than him saying I don't want it, he's accepting it. That's what I said. So don't twist it because you're making it sound like I said something I didn't. But anyway, Lee, you were quite a chatty in the WhatsApp group during the match tonight. You got plenty to say.
You know what? I was going to go off on one. I really was, but I've calmed down after a cup of tea. But listen, an hour and a half after this match, and I've been sitting in watching lots of other different channels, looking at the comments, and I've got to say, as I've said before, being in youth football, we've got to stop putting these kids on a pedestal after 45 minutes of a friendly match. It's going to do them so much harm if it goes backwards. It's unbelievable. And we know how influential social media is in these days. But coming to the match, I think the first half was pretty much the same as what we expect with most of the first team players. The only difference I saw from the end of the last season was I did like the fact that Maddison was trying to play the ball through the line to feet rather than going out wide as much as he did last year, which is great because I think he's good at doing that, finding those small little passes through, etc., etc. I think Sonny's touch to put, I forget who was on the end of it now, through in the middle was absolutely fantastic. I loved watching him do that. But again, it was
for the goal, or
I don't think it was a goal. I think it was Johnson, and I think he missed. I think he put it over the bar, but it was just like a little leg up, knocked it off in front. It was fantastic to watch. But the much of the same. Listen, Archie Gray, I think he was solid. I think he was calm. Nothing that he did stands out to me to say that he's going to be absolutely world class at this point. He was played out of position. I think he did well. I don't expect him to be playing in that position again other than other friendlies because obviously he's not going to be over Van der Ven or Romero, obviously. And even if either of them to leave, we've got other defensive players there. So, I think he played there because other people are on holiday and getting rested up. So, but good, well done to him. Nothing to worry about, but also nothing to again, as I say, put him on that pedestal just yet. So now the second half. Listen, caveat as always, as Stella said, by the time we scored our first goal in that second half, I think they'd made 11 changes and they were pretty much playing their youth team just as much as we were. What I am going to say though, and this might surprise you, is that those that youth side, apart from Royale and Werner, embarrassed the rest of the first team. Yeah. Because I was very impressed with the way that they were moving forward with the ball, the silkiness of them making small passes and going forward is fantastic. For me, Jed Spence 100% has not done himself any harm tonight. We all knew that the reason why we were trying to get rid of him was more to do with his attitude than anything else. I think he was solid tonight. I think he, again, caveat, the level of player he was playing against weren't, Premiership level, but the way that he was the way that he was working with Mikey Moore on that right-hand side, you compare that to Johnson and Porro, and I'm not saying that he's better than Porro. I think Porro is still a fantastic passer of the ball, can go forward, etc., etc. But the way that Spence and Mikey Moore was playing on that right-hand side was fantastic. You could see that they've been working together, playing together, etc.
Would you be happy if Spurs sold Emerson Royale and kept Spence as the right wing backup for Porro?
Only because you said backup. I hate that word backup. I
Okay,
quite happily keep Spence.
The competition.
Yeah, Spence could quite happily stay and be competition for Porro. Absolutely, 100%. Yeah. I think Mikey Moore played really well in the situation it was in. He took his goal really well as well. Really well for him for 16. He looks composed. Bergvall now started off a bit shaky, came into the game. I'm not going to big him up right now because it's a friendly, but there's something I'm going to point out which me and Maz were talking about, and I thought this was really, really, really good to watch. He always is looking for that ball. He's always trying to get into space to look for that ball, which a lot of our midfielders right now don't do.
Yeah.
And when he gets that ball, passing backwards is like third or fourth. It's last resort for him. You see him either tries to shimmy left, shimmy right, or look for the pass diagonally forward, or he tries to take it around the player. If he was to do that every time and make a few mistakes and lose the ball, I wouldn't worry me, because you can never get it perfect every time. But that's the thing. That's the mentality I like about him. He also looks pretty strong as well, and he likes to tackle. So I think he's definitely got potential. Whether he's in the starting 11 for Spurs next season, I couldn't tell you. I think he's definitely got the right to start against some of the lower league teams, or maybe early in the cups or something of that nature. Absolutely. So it'd be exciting to see how he develops. And my last point is on our striker situation. Now, if we don't get a striker, I'm going to say now that I think Will Lancashire's got every right to walk into Angie's system and Angie's office and say, look, we haven't got a striker. I'm chomping at the bit. I can score goals. Please put me in the first team. And I will do whatever I can for you to bag those goals, because not without calling anyone else out, but we know what the issues that we've got. I don't think Felice is it. I didn't really see much of him. But Lancashire's almost got that young Kane vibe about him. He can hold up the ball. He can turn a player. And something about him just makes me think that he could certainly be the person that pushes whoever it is ends up in the striker position, fully warranted to be part of the first team next season.
He's a big, strong lad as well, isn't he?
He is, he is.
I don't think he's a big lad.
I don't think we've seen enough of him to say, oh yeah, he could definitely start. But I think he's definitely got a right to say, I can be the one that brings everyone else's level, get everyone else's level up. Because if they've got no competition, then we'll end up with the same Richarlison as we did last year. So for me, I think he's got every right to ask that. But again, my opinion. Everyone might disagree with me, but it is what it is.
No. It's all valid opinions. I want to come to Ellie, but very quickly, Jason Naz in the chat. You've asked me 3 times to send the link to Sava. I've said to you, Sava is on the show, and you're still asking me to send the link. I just don't
Yeah.
This club.
Yeah, two Greek people are not enough for him.
We're invading.
Yeah, the Greeks are invading.
Yeah. Big up. Thanks for being here. Yeah, you've heard everyone speak. You've heard everyone's opinion. No one here's got overhyped, right? No one here is getting all giddy and excited. Let's see how it goes. But that's not what's happening on a lot of channels tonight on social media. Literally, we are vintage 1970s Ajax at the moment. Johan Cruyff and you name it. Do you think it's just we need to just calm down?
Well, we are a fan base of overreactors, aren't we? We really are. And there's some quarters of the YouTube and Twitter that go over the top. Of course they are. That's what they do. I think they thrive on it, right? And what I say is Lee hit it on the spot when he said, look, we're only playing Heart of Midlothian. They're not exactly Juventus or Inter Milan or Real Madrid or Barcelona, are they? So you can't gauge it. But what I did see is a lot of youth players that are talented. They definitely are talented, and their movement off the ball is really good. I like their movement off the ball as well. Just the way they move the ball quickly. They're very intelligent. And nobody's mentioned Tyrese Hall. I think he done the best bit in the game, where he dropped his shoulder and left his marker for dead.
You're right, Ellie. I thought he played really well.
Tyrese Hall has been likened to Dembele, and you can see why. Right? Obviously, he's got the build. He's still young. He's still raw, but I think he's got something about him. Dane Scarlett, I totally disagree with you guys. I think he's the one for the future, not Lancashire. Because if you look at his,
why do you say that?
His record for England when he steps up for England, the last game he played, he scored a hat trick in it, right? So he does turn up for the big games, and he's always been a winner in life. He's been with us since.
Ellie, can I just rebut that very quick? I don't want to. I'm not going to cause an argument or anything like that. But that's great. But again, we're talking about England under 21s, not Premier League. It's a completely different kettle of fish.
Yeah, I do get that, but at least he does turn up, right? And every time that he's been given a chance, and he hasn't been given that many chances. He scored a worldie against Shakhtar Donetsk, which if you're that type of player, you can score that type of goal. You've got something about yourself, right? So I really
Harry Winks scored from the halfway line.
And I'm not taking away from Lancashire because I think he's a very good prospect. And I do agree with you, Lee. He should be knocking on that door because he started off at Arsenal, the boy, and they didn't want him. And then he went to Sheffield United, and now we picked him up. So I think you have to take everything with a pinch of salt with these youngsters because you don't know what they're going to be like in the real world of the Premiership until you blood them. Yeah, and then you're going to find out. But you don't find out the first game. They have to have a run in the matches, so they have to be given a chance. And I don't think Postecoglou is the one that's going to give them a chance because last year he hardly gave them a look in, right? And they're only playing now because we've got everybody's away, right? So the real proof in the pudding is when everybody's back, and let's see who he actually chooses to make that squad. Yeah, so we have to wait and see. So it's a waiting game now because whoever stepped up in this game, including Jed Spence, because we've heard so much about Jed Spence, about his attitude and everything, and that every manager's not liked him. But maybe it's the managers. You don't know, because at the end of the day, he's been given a chance today to show what he's worth. And I actually like the way he plays. I really do. I think he's a fabulous talent. Whether he can get this temperament in what we've heard about in control and not be such a big head like we've heard about, we're not sure because we don't know what goes beyond the closed doors of Tottenham Hotspur.
It can't be worse than Chicken Royale. I mean, Chicken Royale in the space of 1 minute gave away a goal.
Yeah, he did. Right. So, I mean, it was a rotten pass. But we're used to that because his passing is not on point. But he's an okay defender. He's bang average, isn't he, at the end of the day?
Yeah.
But do we want bang average in our club? No, we don't. So ship him out and get him out quick because otherwise he's going to think he's got leeway in the team. He's played today, isn't he? So I think we can't hold on to these players if we're serious. And like you said, Stel, Werner, he is total pants. Honestly, I've watched him in front of goal. He hides behind the defender. He doesn't make any move, any angle for himself.
That's what I was about to say.
Pants.
He can get as many points against rubbish teams. He's crap.
Yeah. So that's my evaluation of the match. We were pretty good, but you can't gauge it because it's against Hearts, and it's a friendly. So there's nothing to take from the match really, apart from the youngsters looked okay. You know, Berg Bowl and Archie Gray, our new starlets, they looked okay. They didn't look anything special. But you know, they might when the real cookie crumbles in the Premiership and they're given their chance, we'll see how good they are, won't we?
Let's see what happens when they've got to come up against Gabriel Saliba and Declan Rice and whatnot. But Anthony, I'm going to ask you this question, okay? Everyone's getting hyped. Well, not. There's a lot of excitement about the kids, and rightly so, because there is talent there. But like Ellie said, we don't know what they're going to become once they've got to play in the Premier League, okay? But unless you give them a chance, you never know. But my question is this. When Van der Ven, Romero, Adogi, and all the others come back, Benton calls and whatnot, are these kids going to get the kind of minutes that allows them to develop? Because it's all right having 5 minutes here, 10 minutes here. But what you saw today, where they all got 45 minutes minimum, you need that week in, week out. Are they going to get that? And secondly, we still haven't sold a lot of the deadwood. It's still here. Emerson's still here. There's a lot of this, a lot of the trash is still at this club. Ben Davies is still here. So can you make sense of it? Are they going to get time? Are we going to get rid of this deadwood?
Royale could have already been gone. It's just Levy doing his thing.
Did I say Dan?
We're looking at 20 million.
Dan, did I say your name?
I just gave you an answer, that's all.
No, that's fine. No. I didn't mean that in a rude way.
Speak when I want.
Yeah, no, you can speak. Because
He speaks when he wants. He speaks when he wants.
I was wondering if I said Dan by mistake. That's what I was asking.
Dan, did I say your name?
Get in there.
Next thing, still, you'll be cutting Dan's internet. You'll be
hacking Dan. If Dan goes down, guys, you know what's going on.
Exactly. Next thing, Dan will be cut. You can't get back online. Just kidding. Still, to answer your question, so today was definitely a tale of two halves. The first half, frankly, was frightening because it looked like a typical Spurs Cup game. It was unbelievably. They basically had the Japanese soldado on, and we should have been down 4-1 easy. That guy couldn't finish his dinner. And then in the second half, I thought that the youth players showed such energy and such dynamism that, to answer your question, I don't think that Ange is going to have a choice if we start out where you have players like Bentancur and Kulishevsky and stuff like, who played a nice one too, I do have to say. But if you have players that are lacking energy, I feel like this year he has options this season. And I feel like because Ange has been in the seat now for a year, this is going to be a new Ange. And I'm not an Ange sycophant. I'm not saying he's the best coach in the world or the worst. I'm simply saying he has had a year in the job now. He has been to these stadiums. He's been to Old Trafford. He's been to, Anfield. He's gone away to Arsenal. He gets it, is what I'm saying. He's no longer a rookie coach. Now he's a true manager. So what the kids brought in the second half was it was the most fun I've had watching Spurs in God knows in a dog's age. I can't remember the last time I saw players that were more exciting. I was like, wait, is that Jed Spence? I had to look the number up and figure out who I was seeing. And it was so much fun seeing them put balls into space and run after it. It was such a fantastic feeling. And I don't think that Ange is going to have the luxury, or I don't know, maybe luxury is the wrong word, but I don't think he's going to have the time to be able to play the players that are complacent. And there always are these complacent players at Spurs that just get a paycheck. They play good once every 4 games. Your Lo Celsos and, players like that. Even, I'm sorry, I mean, I hate to say it because I do love the guy when he's on, but Bentancur and people like that are kind of like sacred. They're thought of as untouchable. If they start playing like shit and we lose a few games, they're just not playing well in the first 10 games, he's going to have to bring in the youth because everyone saw what they saw. And last year he would have been like, no, I better stick with what I know, the more tried and tested players. But this year I feel like he has more command because he has that year under his belt. We're at that point now where some of those youth players can't really be ignored. I think that Mikey Moore can't really be ignored. I think that Gray and Bergwall are going to make statements. So my point is it's about energy. And if those players that we normally have, the normal starting 11, if they are starting like crap, like they did in the first half, which was awful, by the way, they should have been done and dusted. They could have scored 4 on us. If that keeps up, I really don't see Ange just saying, no, I'm going to stay the course. I'm going to stick with your Benton course and your Kulishevskis, and I've got my blinders on. I don't think he's going to do that. I think he's going to have to play the kid.
Might be forced into it. Then God knows what happens. Sava, I'm going to ask you this question, okay? So James earlier on before you came on, he said, if we're going to do Project Youth, as long as the club come out and tell us and say, look, this is what we're going to do, this is the plan, James said he can get on board with it, as long as we know the plan. My question to you is this. Would you get on board with it? Because we built a £1 billion stadium. What was the point of that if we're going to do Project Youth, which we could have done in the old stadium? Or do you see it as, well, you know what, this is the right way to go regardless of how much we spent on a new stadium?
What I love about this question is you, Mari, Mikal, James, Dan, Lee, Ellie, Anthony, every single person in this chat knows my answer. No.
Yeah, I know.
No, we are not Brentford. We are not Fulham. We are not Crystal Palace. We have been promised for how many years now that build the stadium, we'll compete, we'll turn into a club that actually want to compete. Now we've built the stadium, we'll turn around and go, it's fine, don't worry, we'll just buy loads of kids. No. Sorry, if we're going to do that, knock the whole thing down, move back to White Hart Lane. And if you are going to do that, charge everybody in the crowd £40 a ticket, right? There is no way at all that I don't see how any fan, no offense, sorry, I'm sure we'll get into it, James. I don't know how any fan can sit there and turn around and say after 24 years of what we've been watching, which has been Project Youth. Let's not beat around the bush still. For 24 years, it's been Project Youth. And then we want to do it again. And then what happens is, I'm not saying anyone on this panel, what happens is you get a game like today against, let's be fair, right? Our kids, we've got some really good kids in there. I'm not doubting that, right? But how many clubs up and down the country can say they've seen a performance like that from their kids at some point in a pre-season game, right? It's only Spurs fans that see that, start claiming we've got future Ballon d'Or winners, start claiming that we should sell everyone senior and just play the kids. Our kids, Stella, you know this, our kids will never, ever have an easier game of football. They played against Hearts B team where they were under zero pressure. So literally today, what we saw from them was kids having fun. We saw kids having fun, just getting to attack. Now put them against a proper team that want to play, a proper team of men, a proper football team. Now all of a sudden, we've got to see what the Bergvall, Spence, Mikey Moore, Lancashire, all of them. Now, what do they do in a game where we're under siege? Now, what do they do when we're under pressure from corners? This is why when people are losing their minds in my chat, in my watch-along, talking about Bergvall's the next Pirlo and Mikey Moore's generational, some of these statements could be true, but how many years do we have to keep falling under this same spell, Stel? That sounds weird. How many years do we have to keep falling under this spell, right? Until we're going to realise that what we're doing now and these kids, that's fine if we want to finish 5th, 6th, 7th, right? You want to close the gap to Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal? This is not the route. Yeah, bring in Bergvall, bring in Gray. There's two 18-year-olds. You've already got Sarr, he's a kid. You've already got Adogi, he's young. Van der Ven's young. You can't have all of them. All of those kids we saw today, let's be brutally honest. Match day 1, Leicester City, how many of them are going to be in the squad? So we can hype them up. We can talk about Project Youth. We can talk about this all day long. When match day 1 comes, he'll have his usual 11 out, right? His usual players will be on the bench with maybe one or two of the kids, right? And then we'll all be going, oh, what's happened to the youth? Because that's what managers do. There's a pecking order. No.
What do you say?
Can I answer that though? Can I answer that?
Answer it. I just want to do the devil's advocate. I just want to ask that one. You say to fans then, you say Arsenal, they've got the youngest team, the second youngest team in the league, and look at them. What do you say to that then?
I'd say look at them. What, they haven't won anything. I'd say what, they've had 2 good years where they've challenged.
They're on the brink.
They've had. We can say we're on the brink, but they've had 2 good years where they've challenged, haven't got over the line, and let's be fair, they're signing real quality. Like they're bringing in Odegaard, right? They're bringing in players like Odegaard. They're bringing in players like Saliba. They're bringing in players like Trossard. They're bringing in Declan Rice at 100 million. We're bringing in Timo Werner's Grays. So I don't believe there's any world where you put a team full of kids out there, and when it comes to the crunch, and this is what a lot of fans don't want to hear, when it comes to the crunch, when it comes to men's football, when it comes to the Premier League first game of the season where you are going to be up against crunching tackles, headers, these kids can't all be in a team at once. This is an anomaly.
Saba, just to play a devil's advocate, right? Wasn't Odegaard and Saliba just as unproven as Bergwall and Gray are when they were brought in, right? Because Saliba was 18 and he was loaned down 3 years, right? Odegaard was a Real Madrid reject, right? So technically, you can make a case. I completely support your point, right? We need quality, right? That's not what I'm debating, right? But I think people just need to give those kids a chance. And I'm not saying because many people are just saying that the kids are already there and we should be playing them in the first team and whatever, right? No, they are not good enough yet, right? But also we shouldn't be saying that Arsenal are bringing perfect youth and our kids are not.
No. But you answered your own question. Arsenal bought in Saliba and sent him on loan to a proper league for 2 years to get men's football. Right, we're bringing in 18-year-olds and claiming them as Ballon d'Or winners now after 45 minutes against hearts beating. Right, Odegaard.
That's not what I have a problem with. Right, I completely support that. Right?
No, I know. Odegaard. There's a reason Odegaard was bought by Real Madrid. We're not talking about some really poor kid here. We're talking about a guy that.
Calm down. Emerson Royale came from Barcelona.
When we're going to talk about a Real Madrid reject, you've got to remember the competition you're facing when you're playing at Real Madrid. Yeah. So, but my point is, Arsenal added experience to that, winners to that as well. Whether we think they're brilliant or not, they went and added Zinchenko and Jesus, who are used to winning things. They've added they added Partey, who was a winner. They added Declan Rice for 100 million. You can't just all go project youth. It doesn't. Unless I'm wrong, unless anyone can provide me an example of when that has worked ever.
Still, only when Man United did it. Man United played.
So Ellie, when Man United,
they were playing together for so many years.
Yeah, but they had Mark Hughes, Steve Bruce.
They had Mark Hughes, Steve Bruce, Gary Pallister, Roy Keane, Peter Schmeichel.
It was a mixture. It's like most teams.
It was Ellie, but
youth and experience. But you need more experience. I agree.
But their experience,
we haven't got any. That's the problem.
These youngsters we've got, who are they learning their trade off of in the club? So what if you've got Wanyama, Dembele and Ericsson and you can learn off them? But we've currently got Timo Werner, Celso's, Skips.
Yeah.
Where are they learning? Romero's really the only senior and son.
What happens now? Sorry, just quickly, Mario. What happens in these situations is people start dropping clubs or countries that are playing a 17-year-old, 16-year-old, 18-year-old. So, for example, people are going, Spain are playing Lamau, right? Yeah, that's one teenager, right? Spain are playing one teenager mixed in and amongst all that class. What we've got fans asking for is start Bergvall, start Gray, start Phillips, start Lancashire. If you start all of those players, this team's finishing bottom half in the Premier League because they will be Kids have good games, bad games, really bad patches of form. Some of them grow at that level. Some of them grow at that level. And I don't know why we do this every single preseason. A couple of players have a good game and we start trying to talk about how maybe we shouldn't buy quality. Maybe it should be project youth. It doesn't work. It's never worked for anyone in the history of football. It's not going to work for Tottenham Hotspur.
Guys,
let James. I want to let James speak because I did say to him I'll come back to him. Then I'll come to you, Mom. Go on, James.
Yeah. So with the Arsenal thing, it's all well and good now, in my opinion, and this is no disrespect to anybody, but it's all well and good saying they're adding class now, but they're 5-6 years into a project. The first year they weren't adding Odegaards and Declan Rices. It's like a stage. Saka was a kid, Martinelli was a kid. They were bringing through. Saliba was a kid. They loaned back out, so they weren't like straight away talent. It is a process, and I'm not that I'm saying that I want that. The point number 2, Sarah, you said we're not a Palace or Brentford. Are we not? Then if I was you, mate, I'd get on the train that we are a Palace or Brentford. We're just an expensive version of that. As soon as you come to realise we are a Palace or a Brentford.
This is where, no offence, James, but this is everything wrong with our club, that statement.
No, I am the same as you. I want talent. I don't think we've got a good enough club. But what do we do different? How do we act differently to Palace? How do we act differently to Brentford?
That's my point. I think you've missed this. This is
what he's saying to you is we behave.
He's agreeing with you.
We are those.
Guys, I completely understand. But my point is we're not them. I completely understand we're not them. So let's not, because our owners don't ever buy the top quality, let's not let that then bring us down to their level and say, oh, well, let's just do Project Youth. Project Youth, right, is never going to win you anything. Arsenal aren't 6 years into a project, right? They're not 6 years into a project. Second of all, Arsenal haven't won anything. This project, this process we talk about, if Arsenal were the benchmark, then we're benchmarking against failure.
Yeah.
Right. So I asked the question asked at the beginning of the show, what do we want to be? Do we want to be a team that just play Bergvals, Greys, Lancashires, the Dogies, if we want to do that, cool. But then charge all the fans 40 quid a ticket. Yeah. And charge the fans 40 quid a ticket. Stop making club shirts 100, 125 quid. Right. And stop pretending we're a big club. But at the moment, I feel like the fans are caught in this kind of crossfire as to what do we want to be. So when Stell and I always group you with me, Stell, because apparently every time I say something, it's, oh, you and Stell. Every time Stell and I have an opinion on football and we're called negative, I always throw this back at people and go, why are we the negative ones for wanting better players to try and win things? Why is it negative to constantly want to do the same thing over and over and over again that has never brought success?
And I'm gonna say this. I want to say this too, because we started out talking about the positive about the youth. I'm worried about Project 11 because in the chat was Suma, Kulu, and Solomon. And we haven't made any quality signing other than the youth. I'm scared for the starting 11, especially Suma.
I forgot Basuma was even playing.
He was terrible.
Someone said it. I was like, oh, yeah.
Terrible. And Kulu, you know my opinion. Everybody said I'm a Kulu hater and stuff like that, but I'm sorry. Like, we're going in with Kulu in the starting 11. I'm worried about Project 11 because that's 11.
Mari, that's exactly what I was saying about when I was talking about how we played. It reminded me of a typical Spurs Cup game in the first half. When I was bigging up the kids in the second half, and I was saying, oh, it was so refreshing seeing balls played forward, and I had to check if it was Jed Spence or not. I wasn't saying that because I'm giddy with excitement over our youth. What I was saying is exactly what Mari is saying. I'm saying the contrast was so stark. Everyone's talking about we played Hearts' B team in the second half. So effing what? We played Hearts' A team in the first half with our A team, and they were horrible. I mean, we were absolutely abject in the first half. There was a few cute flicks and touches and a couple of moments of quality football amongst 43 minutes of dog shit. So when I'm in complete agreement. The reason why the youth looked so good isn't because it's Hart's B team. It's because our starting 11 were absolutely horrible. You have players like Pedro Porro, and you have players like Decky, and you have players like Son. I'm not saying they're bad players and we should bench them or whatever. That's not my point. I'm simply saying that in some games they're fine. You can do that. I don't have right now that's not my argument. My argument is basically that what terrifies me is watching them play today reminded me of every single cup game I've seen Spurs, whatever, FA Cup, League Cup. I've seen us play for the last 5 or 6 years where they just roll the ball out. The player has Porro on the back of his jersey, runs up the right side, blasts it to 50 feet over the bar, and we'll play again. And he just throws his hands up and goes and tries again. That's the thing that scares the crap out of me. It's exactly what I'm.
Anthony, can I ask you a question? Anthony? Were you worried? Yeah, it's only first game of the season, first preseason game. But I was worried that again, after the shocking end to the second half to last season, where we were in basically like 16th place in terms of over the last 18 games. Right? That we started today's game, and again, it was 2 centre-backs.
Horrible.
And everyone else is nowhere to be seen. And what is so worrying is straight away, we've gone in with the same tactic, and Hearts, let's be brutally honest, Hearts opened us up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah?
Gerard Taylor, Costa Rican player who just got Spurs in Copa America. Gerard Taylor was probably the best.
No logic.
Gerard Taylor was probably one of the best players in the first half. You're wondering, who is Gerard Taylor? Costa Rican fullback, just signed to Hearts, just came from Copa America, and he should have 2 assists. I couldn't believe that guy, the Japanese striker, he scored 2 assists. We should have been trailing.
But I think what Phil was saying was spot on. For me, other than Madison, it looked like it was game like 37 of the season. It could have been. I think he was the only one that was better than he was last season.
Agreed.
Everybody else looked like they just carried on from last season.
Was shocking. I thought. And so was Porro, and so I was looking for players. I was like, so was Son, who name players in the first half. Forget all the kids and all this joy.
He's not a striker.
Was really good. Even the first half, we did a bang.
Son's finished, man. Son's finished.
We did what we did. We did what we did back in the last season. If you watch, the problem is because Porro and Donnelly today were doing the whole inverted thing. At any one time, you've got Porro, Donnelly, Basuma, Madison, Kulusevski, all in that area. Then you've got Son who drops deep in there as well. And the problem is when you do that, it's easy to say, oh, Kulu didn't play well or Basuma didn't. There's too many of them in there. None of them can put their foot on the ball and breathe and say, right, let's. And in the second half, we didn't really do that. In the second half, we actually used the flanks. There was more space in the second half.
Still,
but if he does that, this year, I'm worried.
I am.
Is that down to the attacking movement though? Because Spence was still in there. Spence was right up there, but Mikey Moore went wide. He had the ability, the knowledge to go wide. I'll go wide and get the ball. All right, Spence isn't there. I'll cut in now. I felt like the attacking quality was much better in the second half.
Yeah, but my point was that's how we played all of last season, James. Like literally, we've come out in game 1 and we've again gone to 2 at the back, and then when we're being opened up, this could be Hearts, this could be the under-11s team from the park across the road. Everyone will open us up because we don't have fullbacks. We don't play with fullbacks. We're going to get opened up every game.
You know the issue is, right? If you look at the goal where the Japanese player missed from whatever 4 yards out.
Go back and Soldado miss. He should have put it on.
Go back to the replay. Basuma was nowhere to be seen. He was the holding mid. It was Solomon that got back. There's the wing back. Solomon was an attacking forward. He was recovering. Exactly like in last year. And this is the problem. If they score, it's a good team, like 1-2-0, all the pressure on us now. The fans turn on the team. And you're not going to see that 5-goal rally that you saw in the second half. That's when we crumble. And one thing I've noticed with Ange Ball, you've got to capitalize on your chances and get the advantage. You do give them up. The other team put them away. We don't know what we're doing. We literally don't know what to do.
Still, your mic is cutting up. I don't know if it's only for me, but
Yeah, it was
your
cutting off.
microphone is just coming on and off. It's a bit hard to understand. Sorry.
Exactly what you said, Stelios. If that's my worry, when the good teams capitalize, right, we're going to be trailing 1-0, 2-0. Because today the difference is Hearts didn't capitalize, and it's going to be the same old story going into the next season, but it's going to be much worse because I think Chelsea's going to be better. United's going to be better. These teams, Newcastle, right? They're not playing Europe. They're going to be better. It's going to be a struggle to finish 6th or 7th.
Guys, we are like the anti-Stoke. Instead of parking, 11 men behind the ball, we park 11 men in front of the ball. And we think that if you flood the area with just the more players, we get players off the bench. Maybe we can get Harry Redknapp out of the stands and he can put a kid on, and we can get 15 or 20 players into that box. So it's going to knock off someone's ankle or someone's bum or something, and it's going to go in the net. All you have to do is just flood that area. Forget defense, forget anything. I want to see as many white shirts as possible within that box, and we're going to score, fellas.
There's a bigger issue.
I need
here.
to go. Sorry, Lee. I need to go. Thanks for having me. I just want to say one thing, and I'll leave you guys to ponder this. If you were a manager and you were playing Tottenham Hotspur in your next game, what are you telling your team? Down the wings, down the wings. It's
Punch
too
it
easy.
over the top.
I'm old. I'm ugly. I need to go.
All right.
Yeah.
See you later.
Just
See you, mate.
once,
Can I make a point?
Sorry,
Can I
Dan.
make
Let me
a
just.
point, Daniel? Can I make
Sorry,
a
let me.
point?
Let Lee go, then I'll come to you, Lee. Go on, Lee.
Yeah,
Go to Lee.
okay.
Sorry, I don't mean to jump in, but
Nice. Okay.
discussing what we're discussing right now, I think today's game has highlighted a bigger issue that we're not all seeing. For me, the issue is that the way that the first team played in the first half and then the way that those kids played in the second half shows a very distinct difference between the way that the under-21s are being trained and taught and the way that the first team is being taught. Now, we were told, and Stel, you'll have to back me up on this because I'm pretty sure that you've had these conversations, is that there was going to be a philosophy throughout the academy up to the first team. And there's the pathway to the first team. For me, those kids, as I said, played a lot more free-flowing, attacking football, using the wings and stuff, which shows a very distinct difference between the way that they've been taught to play under Simon Davis than what Angie's teaching the first team. That worries me, because then it's a case of, well, hold on, if you do start bringing these kids in one at a time, piecemeal, because I don't think, as to Sav's point, you can't bring them all in. It's as simple as that. It doesn't work. Then they are going to be coming into a team that plays completely different than the way that they're used to in the under-21s. That worries me for their development more than anything.
The academy philosophy, Michael. Sorry, just want to explain this, and then he's next, by the way. Then I'll come to you. The academy, the way we play out from the back is the same as the first team. It's the exact same principle. It's trying to create a 3-on-2 in the right back and left back areas, and if it's a 3 or 4 man press, to try and create a 3-on-2 on the halfway line to play it out. That's identical. In the final third, the academy is about developing players, and you've got to develop players that are technical and excellent decision makers. So you can't hold them. You must move here. You must do this. They'll give them lots of scenarios, and then they've got to figure out, right, what's best depending on how the attack's going. And that's why you saw them play with a bit more freedom today, our youth, because that's where they've been coached. Ange is a bit more rigid. Invert there. You push here.
Very.
Yeah, so that bit, you're right. There's a conflict. You're right. But I think it's very difficult to get the academy to play exactly the same as the first team. But the fundamentals of 1 touch, 2 touch, try and play forward, play it out from the back, look for those killer passes, that is identical. But the bit on the specific movement in the final third, That's where the conflict is.
But still, that's our whole problem. The entire problem of last year was exactly what is that whole final third shit. So I don't care if they're carbon copying. Sorry, I'm agreeing with you. By the way, I'm not disagreeing. I'm saying like this is bananas. For the first time, you saw movement in the final third that was beautiful and flowing and balls into space and playing in the wings and playing in and playing
crosses.
Out. So exactly.
Crosses. How many times we miss crosses? Jesus.
I don't understand how Tottenham brass can't go. Okay, that worked in the second half. The first half didn't work. We better adjust, Ange. Let's make some adjust. Like is Ange like a Hitler, like a Stalin? Like that's it. Everything he says, that's the way that it's going to go. Or can he go like, you know what? That did work. You're right. They were peeling off. Maybe we should try to do more of that with our first team, with our Kulus and our Bentancurs and our Sons and stuff like that. Try to play more of that free flowing football instead of me Postecoglou being so static. Does he have the ability to go to learn from what we all just saw?
No.
Can I ask you something as well, Stel? Like what you said.
Point, James.
Go on. Yeah, sorry, mate.
It's just so I want to get in here. Yeah,
I've got to get Michael in as well. So
okay, I'll be quick.
Go on.
Honestly don't think, and I want to be proved wrong here, but I don't think Ange has got the capability to be a winning Premiership manager. Personal opinion. I don't think he's got the capability to get a plan B and C. I don't think that he will change his way. I think he's too stubborn, too set in his way. His age does him no favours because he's set in his way. And yeah, there's going to be teams that we can play against where we can play Ange's system and it's going to look great and we're going to win. And then as soon as we come up against a fast team, let alone a good team, we're just going to get cooked every time. All last season, we conceded the same goals, game in, game out. It took him 34 games before he realised that the zonal marking didn't work. Yet nearly everybody on here was saying it after 15 games, sort your zonal marking out. I just don't think he's got the mentality, capability to change it to fully adapt to the Premiership game by game, like the top manager does.
Just one quick point. I really, and then Eddie.
I want to be right.
Yeah, I just think we are. This is what I said. I think we are overreacting. It's 45 minutes against Hearts with Archie Gray and Skip at the back, and Donny as left back, right? We did the same shit in the second half, right? We played exactly the same way. Just the difference of quality was bigger between our under 21s and their under 21s. Basically, that's how I see it, right? Yes, I agree. Our forwards are shit. Yes, I agree. We need to adapt, but I think we are drawing too big conclusions based on 45 minutes or 90 minutes of football. That's the way I see it.
We all have PTSD from last year, though, Mike.
We saw only 1 out of 4 players from that backline that we normally have, right? Play. We don't. I get your concerns. I back them, right? I have the same concerns. I think we've done too many shows together to not know that we basically all think the same thing, right? That we are too open, that we are too naive, that our manager is stubborn, right? But it's just like basically what I want to say is just I would wait with the conclusions before the season starts, right? That's the way I see it, because we haven't seen the first team play yet, right? We didn't have a centre back in the first half on the pitch, right?
No, but Michael, the problem is, I get what you're saying, but the problem is we saw Solomon, Son, Madders.
I'm talking about the back. I'm not talking about the front, right?
I don't really have any problems with what happened at the back today. It was in the first half. We had no end product. But when you put in the second half, we had completely different product. There was crosses going in.
Yeah, but I'm referring to the situation at the back, right? We had no defenders on the pitch other than Poro, right? And then listen, I know, like, Bissouma is shit for me. Like, I don't think the guy is good enough to play as a 6, right? And yet there are issues with him coming back and helping out the defense, right? But we didn't see the backline that we normally see, right? So with the conclusions about the backline, right? I would wait a bit to see whether we adapt with the first team, right? Because as I said, we had Archie Gray and Skip today playing centre back duo, right? They were all over the fucking shop, right? But they are not the centre back.
Yeah, but
They are not
Michael, 1 minute. See, this is the problem though. We're questioning the tactics of the manager. We're saying we saw certain things that worried us last season. Why is he starting Archie Gray, who's not a centre back, at centre back? Why is he starting Oliver Skip, who's never played centre back, at centre back? What is he trying to prove by doing that?
I just think he wanted to test out two different teams in two halves, and I know they are not centre backs, right?
To play centre backs, centre backs. He had centre backs on the bench. Play them.
One centre back, right? Phillips.
Play him.
He's the
did he play the goalkeeper in midfield? Right? Did he play Lancashire on the wing? Did he play Bergvall at left back? No. But for some reason today, at centre back, and we struggle to play up from the back, right? We struggle to defend. He does this. I don't understand. This is what I mean.
I don't watch under 21s, right? But as far as I know, Dorrington is injured, right? Phillips is the other guy that plays there, or I know he was loaned out, right? I don't know. Do we even have under 21 centre backs to play there, right? Because it looked like we didn't, right? Why didn't he take them with him on the trip, right? That if they weren't there, then he had to play someone, right? And it's just like, listen, it's just a preseason game against Hearts. I don't really mind him playing Archie Gray there, right?
But isn't a preseason isn't a preseason to develop the system, to develop the play with players in their position ready for the first game against Leicester? What does the team gain from a development perspective of having Skip and Gray at centre back today? I don't understand it.
Neither do I. I'm just saying not to draw too many conclusions.
That's my point.
Right?
So when people say,
football, right?
but that's the point. So when people say, I'm worried about Ange and tactics, that is an example of it.
Yeah, going.
You know,
obviously,
it's pre-season. It doesn't matter. It's pre-season. We'll put it under the rug.
Can I come in now? I've been waiting patiently.
You're gone, Ellie.
Can I come in now? Right. So I'm coming in from a different angle, right? I played centre attacking midfielder when I was playing for Spurs ladies, right? And my coach was absolutely fantastic. His name was Peter Daly. He said to me, you need three things in football to succeed. You need discipline, you need doggedness, and you need desire, right? If you've got all those three things in place, tactics go out of the window, because tactics are just tactics. They don't identify how every team plays, because every team changes tactics every time.
Until you play Man City in Spain.
The thing is with Man City, right? They're so good because all those three things are in place. They've got discipline, they've got desire, they've got doggedness, right? And also they've got extra technical ability that the other teams haven't got with their passing accuracy. It's absolutely fabulous. But we're not far off it, because I looked at our passing accuracy and it's pretty good in comparison, right? The only thing we lack is, I think the worst thing we lack is discipline. And that's why Postecoglou said last season, I need a remote control because my players are out of position, because they haven't got the discipline to get back.
So why the fuck is he giving them a Royale minutes? Why is he playing him a Royale?
It's like Basuma, fantastic player, no discipline, no consistency, right? Even when he was at Brighton, you asked the Brighton people, why did they sell him for 25 million? Right?
Because he was only 1 year left on his contract early.
Yeah, no, but also because
he was quality at Brighton.
But he wasn't always quality, because I know a lot of Brighton fans and they said he was a lazy git. And at Spurs, we've seen it. He's been a lazy git.
He played a different system. He played a different system.
Complete different position. He played at 8.
Yeah, they do. But against Luton, I saw him. We lost the ball in transition and he just trotted back. And Udogie was trying to get back. But he was so knackered, the boy, from attacking. And then they left it up to Van der Ven. They thought, oh, Van der Ven will mop up. Van der Ven didn't mop up and Luton scored. And that was all because of Basuma.
Yeah,
right?
You're right. But at Brighton,
every team needs different types of players. The ones who are going to fight for you, right? The ones who are going to dig in and do the doggedness. So you need every player to have that. But some teams, you've got it more than others. And that's why Man City is so successful, because they've got those three things in place, plus they've got the extra juice.
I'm sorry, I disagree so much. So much. You tell me one player in Man City that hasn't got technical ability. One.
Oh, I said that. I said they've got all technical ability.
That's what she just said.
Technical ability
You're
is
saying
higher
about
than everybody. They've got
the
more
doggedness, the desire. I agree with some of the players like Basuma. I agree, but I can only name you maybe 2 or 3 players in our squad that actually have technical ability. None of them can make a pass. One of them is probably Romero. Bentancur had it before he was injured, and Maddison has it in the first 10 games of the season. Other than that, we have no technical ability in our squad at all. Like none. For me, I wouldn't say Son's technical. I say he's a fantastic finisher in behind. No technical ability. But he was before he was injured. I haven't seen nothing since he's been injured. That's what I said. Richarlison, no. Kulu, no. Maddison, yes.
Player.
You reckon?
Technically, he's very good, Kulu.
So why is it every time he cuts inside, he loses the ball? That's.
No, he doesn't.
Because he shouldn't be on the side. That's why he should be attacking midfield central.
He was the best ball carrier in the Premiership up to when he got injured.
We watch different players, man. We watch different players.
Can I?
It's not a fact.
It is a fact because the stats show it.
Hold on, I think we're missing
Kulu
something.
was the best ball carrier in the whole Premier League last season.
No, up to when he got injured.
Guys, let me answer this very quickly. This is easy. I can see what's happened here. Kulu is technical, however, it's in-game intelligence he lacks. When to use the technique and how. It's the intelligence. When you look at a player like
when to stick and when to twist.
Vertonghen was a very, very technical player, but the intelligence of how he uses technique was what made him so good. When you look at
our easy way to describe,
a lot of our players have got technique, but they haven't got intelligence to go with it. That's the problem.
Kulu is technical but predictable.
I would say Poro is technical. So
Kulu is technical, but he's too predictable. That's why.
So maybe we judge. Yeah. So maybe we judge it differently. I wouldn't class that as technical.
They lack the in-game intelligence. They lack when to peel off and when to go for the right run. That's what the youth players were doing. They were playing with their mind.
Yeah, but that's for me. That's maybe I explained it wrong then.
Who are the benchmark?
Yeah, but you're talking about one game.
Away, and Kulu played out of this world.
Yeah, but that's one game. For me personally.
That ball that he did to Sonny was absolutely sublime.
I tell you what I see from our players that I saw today, but I don't see it from the Timos, the Johnsons, the Kulus, the Richies, even Bentancur to some degree. That through ball from Spence to lay off Lancashire, ball from Bergvall to lay off, was it Moore? I think
Moore.
And there was one other pass today.
Beautiful to watch.
I don't see that from our players, and that's the intelligence.
That means they're not technical.
That's what I'm trying to say. That's what for me. I wouldn't say
they're not seeing it, or they're not doing it quick enough.
To be fair, to be fair, the layoff from Kulusevski to Maddison to square it to Johnson was also
okay.
Nice,
You're right, Michael. You're right.
That was very nice.
That's one in the game.
That's a one-off. That's the problem.
Yeah, you are right, but that's rare.
Yeah.
But you've got to be played in the right position and the right sync as well. When you're playing a player like Basuma, who was the most wanted midfielder in the Premiership out of the top 4, where Liverpool went and offered 70 million for him, but they got told they wanted 85 for him, it tells you something. When he was playing slightly different for Spurs in the first 10 games, where he was considered box to box but go more forward than come back and cover it, defending ain't his strongest point. He can cover a bit of it, but he's a lot better at getting the ball, going forward, and then the short little ball for the people to
How
carry
many
it on.
passes do you see from Basuma that splits teams open? I never see him play those passes.
No.
Ever.
That's why I just said short ball. That's why I just said short ball. He gets the ball, runs it forward, and puts the short ball through to someone like Maddison, who's already in front of him. At Brighton, he run us ragged game after game. Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool, the whole lot of them, he bossed their midfield completely. That is why he was the most wanted player in the Premiership. You play a player out of sync, you're not going to get the most out of them. Same as with Porro, same as with Udogie, same as with Kulusevski. We don't play him in the right position.
Do you know what? Brennan Johnson's a perfect example.
The right way.
Go watch the first half, right? Ellie, go watch the first half. Brennan Johnson. The amount of times he gets in a really good position, technically gets the ball under control, pulls away, thinking, that is technique, and then he just smashes it into the box to fucking no one. I'm like, bro, that's the intelligence. That's the decision.
Yeah, so that's basically where I was going with it. So, but by technical ability, I meant like technically and the ability to be able to play it, because otherwise, technique is nothing without seeing the vision and so on. That's sort of more where I was saying you can have all the
decision making, James. You're talking about decision making.
Yeah, but you have to have both. This is what I'm trying to say. You have to have. There's no point having technique and no good at decision making because you get Kulu. Because that's why we've got Kulu. It's a waste of time.
But they're two different things. Mental and physical
that's what I'm trying to say.
are two different things.
I didn't explain it well, but they should. We haven't got no one with the technique and the vision to actually play that pass. That's more where I'm saying.
And all Man City's players have that. They have the technique and the brains of when to curl off, when to use it. Like part of technical is not just can I trap a ball and can I pass it with the outside of my boot. Part of it is when do I pass it with the outside of my boot? Is there a guy behind me to my left that I can put a fake one way and then put a through ball?
Decision making.
That's what technical is. Technical isn't just can I trap a ball and can I do these tricks with it? It's decision making. That's what technical is.
But there's two sides to it. Teddy Sheringham. He did not really have it physically.
What's the point of trapping the ball? If you don't, you trap the ball, you're fantastic. You spin on the sixpence, you beat your man, and then you've got no intelligence to put a ball through.
Right, can I just clarify something? Maybe I'm going to get a little bit technical here, just from a coaching perspective, right? Technique is being able to control a ball and to manipulate the ball in different directions, using different parts of the body as well, right? Skill is doing technique opposed. So if you can use your technique against another person and beat them, that becomes a skill. So that you can't have skill without technique. Decision making is seeing something, doing it, and using your technique to execute it. You can have good decision making skills, but if you can't execute it, it's because you've got poor technique. So you need good technique to make good decisions. They're three separate things, but they interlock. But they are three separate things. When you coach,
Sheringham had the
first thing you coach is always technique.
He was more mental.
If you don't coach technique first, forget decision making and forget skill. It's impossible. Technique is you cannot be a professional football player without some level of technique.
It's like I just said with Teddy Sheringham, the way I see it,
different levels of technique.
Mentally, where he didn't have the pace, and really he wasn't exactly the most skillful player ever either, was he? He had the mentality. He was always 3 steps ahead, like a game of chess, like Kane's had to be at times. And what he could do was very raw, but he was good at it. He was not a technically gifted player at all. But where he had the mentality so strong, it just made up for everything else, was where it'd be the right place to put it in.
I reckon Berbatov was our best
because of the brain
player. Berbatov was sublime.
Yeah.
He was the best technique, vision, everything.
Berbatov had everything. He had the whole lot.
All right, so let me re-answer my question then, and then I'll go to everybody. Is there anyone in our squad with the vision and technique? Take out the youth in our first 11. Do we have a player that has both of those, barring maybe Romero?
I was about to say Romero.
I personally think Toro, but I know maybe someone.
Okay.
But Toro is
Maddison's the only one who can pick a pass.
Madison as well.
And will take that chance with a pass where it's only a 30% chance that it goes through. There is not one player in that team who can spot a ball like Maddison. He might be inconsistent, whatever else, but he's got the capability to do both sides.
Yeah, to be fair, I also think Van der Ven, but it's less about the passing and more about driving with the ball and actually using like your feet to get around players, right? So it's ironic because you mentioned 3 defenders. You mentioned
that's what I was just about to say. The next thing,
James, I'll tell you who's got it. But the problem is he's always fucking injured. But he has got it. Is Lo Celso?
Yeah.
He's got it, but he's injured all the time.
That's for me like the problem. We've just named 3 defenders, so we've just named 3 defenders.
Yeah, exactly.
So none of our midfield. Well, Maddison occasionally, no one else has it, and that's why I think the youth come on and played better because I think Mikey Moore has it. I think Donnelly has it. I think these players have it. So when they do come on, Alfie Devine, I think he has it. So when they do come on, you're like, wow, why are these doing it but our first teamers can't?
Jed Spence had it today.
Have they got it against those teams? That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, I agree.
We have to give them a chance to see if it happens, right?
Eventually,
sometimes
I want to know what Alex thinks.
Have to give them a chance, right?
No, Michael's spot on. Until they give him the chance, the answer is no one knows. That's the reality.
Mm-hmm.
Let me bring in Alex. Quick super chat from
Hey, Alex is here. Woo!
Alex, good brother.
Let me just read out the super chat. Faz, thank you for the super chat. He says, does the panel agree Gray and Bergvall are top signings? Faz, we will answer this question after Alex speaks, so I'll come back to this. Alex, I know you
in half an hour.
Leech the truth.
We've already started twerking for these 2 rejects already. These 2 young players.
Rejects?
Nobody's already. Nobody's already. Only 18-year-olds. Let's be honest. When I was 18 years old, I didn't really have that much of a life. Let's just be honest here. You know what I mean? They need to grow a pair first, and before we can start talking about world class, and that's it. You know what I mean? The fact is, I just want to get into this conversation because Mr. Box Office needs to start speaking. Yeah. Well, I only saw the highlights. but I'm even starting seeing the excuses. The first thing I need to say, I'm confused about, why is the youth team, the second half, looking better than the first team? That's what I'm confused about. Yeah, well, I'm still asking the question: what's the coaching staff actually doing with some of these players, like Kulu, Poro, all these other players? Because as far as I'm concerned, I haven't seen no coaching here. I don't see no coaching. I'm seeing the same thing that I saw last season. That's even more concerning as well for me. You know what I mean? That's why I say that Pochettino was a better coach all day long. Even Harry Redknapp, because I think Harry Redknapp more coaches in his backroom stuff than what I'm seeing right now. And that's it. So if that's happening pre-season now, when we've got a lot of games this season, remember, because we only had 1 game a week last season. Remember, I'm concerned. I'm concerned.
If you don't,
you know what I mean. So I mean, again, before anybody starts, because everyone's going to get rattled by Mr. Box Office again. You know what I mean? Because I'm going to be a nightmare this season, like I said, nightmare this season because it's the 4th year doing YouTube again. But I don't want to go into that again. My point is, and also again, it's like we're now saying Lancashire now needs to have a chance. I just need to put a spoiler alert to everyone right now. Our main striker this season is going to be a spoiler alert, Richarlison, yeah, because he ain't going nowhere, yeah. He is not going nowhere, yeah. If anybody thinks he's going to go off to Saudi Arabia, you think you really are silly. You think that really, you know what I mean?
Money does talk.
Yeah?
If he gets offered 400 grand a week, Alex, he'll go.
That's why. Yeah. Why do we get Werner in? Yeah, because like I said, we're getting all these youngsters in who are, I've heard Bergvall's got the arrogance, yeah. Oh, that's really going to be fine for some older players telling me that this guy's got arrogance, yeah, and he's going to be telling what to do and stuff like that. Why is an 18-year-old telling him what to do? I wouldn't have that. You know what I mean? That's why I said Perisic should have still been here, and that's it. You know, it's just confusing to me, and that's why I say I can't stand Ange Ball right now. Nothing's telling me this is great, yeah, and that's because of the fan base telling me that I need to like this football, which is absolute nonsense. So I'm sorry, I'm concerned. I'm concerned. I'm sorry, bro. Let me have my 5 minutes of fame rather than because you already had your 5 minutes of. Everyone's had their 5 minutes of fame already. The point I'm making is that I'm sorry. I need someone to tell me why should I be excited about this season? Why should I be excited? because at the moment I don't see it, and I'm sorry, Sav's talking absolute truth. I'm sorry, yeah. And even my boy Dan also, as well, talking the truth again, like I said, like he did yesterday as well on Spurs Kings TV. So I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I can't get excited by this.
Alex, can I ask you
can't
one
get
question?
excited by this,
What's
and
my
that's it.
question?
Back to you still, I'm done.
Alex, that's fine. If you don't want to be excited, I get it. I do get it. I just want to ask one question though. Yes, it's Hearts. Yes, they made loads of subs, and yeah, we can't judge anything. But the way in which the youngsters in the attacking third expressed themselves and played, did that not entertain you?
Yeah, I get you. I've said already. The youngsters look better than our first team in the first half.
They did.
Okay, cool.
So I've already said I've gave them probs. I've gave them probs. But I'm sorry,
that
they're
make you
18 years
excited?
old. One's 16 years old, 17 years old. I'm sorry, that is wrong.
Alex.
Why is a 17-year-old looking better than some of our players? And I'm even heard I've seen
It's
it
all
for
right
the
for
last
Spain,
5
isn't it?
minutes,
It's all right for
5-10
Spain.
minutes, and we're making excuses for these players. So, like I said before to everybody else, I want Lamella back. Yeah. Yeah, I want Foyth back.
No.
Yeah, I want
So
all those
if Levy
players
hears
that
you,
we
you'll go do
shamed
that.
out this club. We shamed out this club saying we weren't good enough. I want them all back. Yeah, because you're all hypocrites for saying that they were useless. Yeah, and we're giving excuses to some of these players right now. I'm sorry. I'm done with this, man. I'm absolutely done with it. What do you want as a club? What do you want as a club? Do you want to be winners like Manchester United last season, embarrassing us when we supposedly had a great season? Yeah? Or do you want to be losers like the people down the road? What do you want to be?
Can I answer your question on some of the youth players? Can I answer your question on some of the youth players? You said like about Will Lancashire. Why is people getting excited about Will Lancashire? But you kind of answered it in your next phrase by saying that Richarlison's going to be our striker next season. For me personally, when you see a glimmer of hope in someone like Will Lancashire, I would much rather die on the hill and let him play 10, 20 games than I would Richarlison come in. I've seen more from Will Lancashire in them half an hour than I have ever seen from Richarlison. So that doesn't excite me, but it gives me a positive feeling towards the club as in, okay, we have an upgrade.
I think you're missing a point here, though, and I think a few of us... Ange ain't going to be able to use these youth players like he.
No, but I'm not saying that. I'm just saying when you watch one and the other. I mean, people were saying about that guy from Leeds, but when people were getting excited about him, the reason is Royale comes on and within 3 minutes concedes a goal. That's why we're like, oh.
That's not what I'm getting at. Yeah, we might have some quality in the youth who should take the place, whatever. And it's not going to happen.
No, I agree.
The reason being it's not going to happen is because Ange can't afford to do it because. I can only go by history on a CV. That's how I employ people. If he's not fourth place or close enough to fourth place and he starts ending up slipping, he's gone by December, by January. He's gone.
Prove my point, like I said in June last year.
Hold on. Let me jump on this with what James said. Is he going to get into that top four with Richarlison as the striker? Who's got a better chance of getting us top four, Lancashire or Richarlison? The answer might be
neither.
Who's got the better chance? Even if it's 1% better.
Lancashire.
Who would you rather? Box office. Who would you rather? The window's shut. There's Richarlison or Lancashire. Who you picking?
Neither.
So you're just not playing a striker?
No, neither. Because as far as I'm concerned, well, I don't see the point because at the moment, I think he'll be struggling in the second part of the season because people.
I agree.
He'll get tired. He'll get tired. He's got nobody to look up to. He's got nobody to look up to in that squad. I'm sorry.
No,
There's
I
no
agree.
leaders in that squad.
I agree with what you're saying.
And this is why I'm saying this youth thing. And again, I said this on Mr. Box Office TV in the latest video, like I said, because I talk the sense, everything in by the way. And by the way, everybody that said I'll talk absolute nonsense has come true. So that's all I need to say, and that's it. So I am the truth, and that's it. But my point is, that who is that squad that has got leadership? Yeah, we let go of one player that I actually was saying no, that I just get rid of him because he wanted to leave. I would kept Perisic all day long, every single day, because I'll learn more than Timo Werner in 2 minutes. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Perisic was played in the wrong position, Alex, and I told everyone from day one. He only done one season as a wing back in And doing that in Italy is a lot easier than doing it in the Premiership. Quality player, still plays up front left for Croatia. We played him totally the wrong way. When we did start playing him up front, we realised how good he can cross that ball. And even as wing back, he was crossing the ball the best. The only other person we've got is
By the
Pogba.
way, Inter were set up in such a way that he wasn't even a wing back. He was basically a winger, right? Because of the
He
setup.
was basically free role. He'd start as the wing back, but
he
they
was
used
doing
to let
hardly
him.
any defending, right? Hardly any defending in Inter.
I
and
thought
he was
Bergvall's cross today was outstanding.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
that was
Jesus.
ridiculous.
I hope
That was an outstanding
I see a cross like that from Johnson. I hope I see one.
Sorry, Michael, mate, you're not getting that.
Yeah,
You're
keep
taking
going.
it piss way too much.
Just hoping.
Or how about we'll just wait until Eze comes. Eze's going to be our savior.
Oh, please don't start with this Eze talk, man. He ain't come. Well,
Alex, I agree with you. I've said this all along. I will wear an Arsenal shirt if he signs. I said a month ago. Still can tell you, Eze's not coming to Tottenham. You heard it here. He's not coming.
No, the one I want us to get is Chiesa. I want Chiesa.
That's sacrilege.
I mean, I don't know if
we've only got one spot. We've only got one spot, yeah, because we've got Timo Werner, we've got Solomon, who ain't going, by the way. Another spoiler alert, he ain't going, right?
Solomon was very average today.
So
really average.
We've got Son, we've got Johnson, right? So how many spots have we got? We've got Valise as well.
Valise will be out.
So
on loan,
how many spots do we have? How many spots do we have?
Guys, can we talk about a few players? I want to start with these two. I want to start with these two. Graham Bergvall, right? Faz says, do we agree that they are top signings? Now, they both looked good today. I'm not going to lie, but can we call them top signings after one game against?
No, too early.
It's too early.
No. It's too early.
I mean, it's too early.
They're wet behind the ears as footballers, aren't they? They're only 18 years old. They're wet behind the ears. They haven't experienced. They haven't experienced the hardships of the Premiership when it's cold and wet, and then you're playing teams like Crystal Palace or Brentford who are going to fight for every ball because they want to stay in the Premiership, right? We haven't seen them in those situations. Until we see them and how they cope, then we'll never know. We have to give them a chance. I think they're both going to get a chance. Out of all the players, even in the academy, those two
hope so for 40 million.
More of a chance because they're ideally they're Postecoglou signings, not club signings.
Yeah,
but can I say something on Palmer? Can I say something on these youngsters? Yeah, right. Youngsters need 2 or 3 seasons. Right, your first season, no one really knows about you. Then you get your second season. Then people know about you. Right, then you got to do more. Right, if you have a great season, you got to do better because people now know about you now. Yeah, this is why I say Palmer's had a great season for Chelsea. Now you've had a great season, you've got to be better now next season. Now people know about you. Yeah, then now people are going to start putting eyes on you, saying, "You got to watch him now." Right, and now then you start seeing whether you're really good because then you've got to be better. You know what I mean? So this is why I don't go over the top. But this is the thing. You can't go over. Like you can have a good season, great. That's your breakthrough season. But this is where the stars come. You've got to be better and better and better. And regardless whether people are looking at you and start marking you and everything else, and I hit you and might tackle you and might foul you, you've got to deal with that. That's what top players do. You know what I mean?
But going back to like the super chat where he said, "Are they top signings?" Would you class as a top signing? I would class as a top signing a Victor Osimhen. So are we saying are they on the level of him? Absolutely not.
No.
It's not
so
just
how can they be top
someone
signings?
Someone like Nico Williams or Danny Elmo.
It's not just about price for a top signing.
No, it's not. It's about the player.
I said 6 months ago, if everyone remembers, go for Chiesa. We will get him cheap. I had a lot of people tell me he will be 60 million, whatever else. No. Juventus are desperate for money where they've just bought player and that. Chiesa has got what we need for the Premiership. He had his injury. It slipped him up a bit. He's got the pace. He can pass better than anybody we got up front. He can cross better than anybody we got up front. He can play left, right, central. and he can have a crack at goal. He's got the bottle to do things. Chiesa, 17 million is a no-brainer. If
For
we don't
me,
get him,
I know this is going to be a bit on the offside, but Chiesa and Neto should be nowhere near this club. The only position they'd be taking is Sessegnon.
Chiesa play. How many times have you watched him play?
Well, I think he only played, 12 times last season?
Make it 33 and you're closer. So obviously you didn't watch him
last season.
Yeah, 30 games, easy. I watched him.
From what I saw, I
follow the Italian league. I follow the Italian league.
I know. I'm not. From what I saw earlier, it was.
And if I remember right, he scored about 11 goals. His assists weren't that great, yeah. But trust me, it's opinion at the end of the day, yeah. He's a quality player. He's an international player.
I agree with that.
He's got everything that none of our up front have got. Everything.
I just think it's too much of a risk. I would rather go get someone
for 17 million. You'd rather go get Neto for 60 million, who plays what? How many?
No, I'd rather none of them. I'd rather none of them.
He wants Eze.
But 17 million is a no-brainer for me for someone like that. That is worth a risk if you're worried about an injury.
I think Chiesa will split fan opinion. Personally, I would sign him, but I think he'll split opinion 100%. Yeah,
I'm not saying technically he's not good enough, but.
So I've got to jump off. I've got to go, guys. I just want to say goodbye to everyone. But
when he played against England, he was
Ellie, let Lee go. Ellie, he's got.
So I just wanted to say before I go, thanks for everyone. Thanks for having me on still. Thanks for everyone in the chat, etc., etc. In terms of top signings, you can't judge if someone's a top signing until they've had at least a year at this club. Let's not forget Ndombele. Okay,
fair enough.
Don't forget. But thanks everyone. I'll speak to you soon.
Thanks, Lee.
Big up, Lee.
Can I quickly say,
let Michael go and then you can speak. Go on, Michael. Go on, you can.
I have to go too. It's just that, right? So I will be listening. I will be listening, guys, but I have to go to bed. So see you.
Michael, take care, man. Thanks for coming on as always.
I also have to get ready to go, but I just want to say, big up Dan. If you think we're a bunch of melts, then you can hit subscribe and like, or you can just watching that channel. But we will give you the good, the bad, and the ugly.
A bunch of melts. We love you, bro. We love you, man. We love you. Come on.
We're past youth, right? But we're also
we melt your heart. We melt your heart, bro.
Melts in your mouth, not in your hand.
I do want to one thing before I leave, because people talk about Jonathan David. Please, if we do sign this guy, which I doubt, along with Eze and stuff, but if we do sign him, I'm gonna correct everybody. He is of Haitian descent, right? That's my background. Is Jonathan David? It's not David. It's David.
Okay,
It's also not Calcio Mercato. It's Calcio Mercato, not Calcio.
Yeah, it's David. Not
and it's Hoiberg, not Hoiberg.
Exactly, it's Hoiberg, not Hoiberg.
Yes, Hoiberg, the French one.
God,
listen,
guys are crazy.
Said TV trolling us, right? Big up, brother. Thanks for watching. Get me back on your show and have proper Tottenham representation. Some real Spurs representation. Anyway, I'm joking, man. Big up, Said. Thanks for watching.
Guys, I gotta go, and I want to say, Stell, thank you so much for inviting me on the show. And what you said about Ange's coaching and nothing changing between the end of last year and the beginning of the first game of the season, that's terrifying. I think he should be assisting Simon Davies. That's what I think, and it's absolutely terrifying to see that game of two halves. I don't care if it's Hearts B team, A team, C team, whatever. Our first team looked woeful and bereft of ideas compared to our kids, and that to me, you're exactly right. That is terrifying. So big up, guys. Take care, and I'll see you soon.
Take care, mate.
Take care, everyone. See ya.
See you later, Anthony. Big up, my man.
I've actually got Chiesa's missed games up online.
Take it.
Sorry, mate.
No.
Take care.
I'll be watching, but I gotta check out bounce out.
Why is everyone watching but no one's here anymore? We went from like 9 to
Well, no, I'm going to be watching and driving. Like
I'm joking, man. You guys.
Tomorrow is our first episode back of North London is ours.
Yes.
We will have Connor, we will have Stefan, and we'll also have my co-host, Mr.
100% Stefan is going to shit on Kane. I guarantee what's coming.
Yeah, because he's a loser.
He still owes me 100. He still owes me 100 quid to give to Great Ormond Street.
Remind
I can't
him.
get in contact
Yeah,
with him.
because he's a loser still.
Remind him tomorrow, Dan.
You'll be waiting for that for the rest of your life.
Mari,
Take care, mate.
I want to
See
ask you
that,
guys. I want to ask you guys a question about these two. Okay, so Dane Scarlett and Veliz, they were probably two of the so-called letdown youth players of ours today. Sometimes it takes a bit more time. We saw with Harry Kane, it took quite a bit of years and times and loans before he hit the ground and he became the best striker in the league, arguably one of the best in the world. I'm not saying Scarlett and Veliz are going to become Harry Kane, far from it, but do you think when you look at the other youngsters, what the potential we're seeing, that these two just might not cut it, and we might be better off getting rid of them now, or do you give them a bit more time, send them out a few more loans? What's your thinking on Dane Scarlett and Veliz, guys and girls?
So for Liz, I saw absolutely nothing from today. I was actually really hoping he'd come on and do something, but I thought he was just a beanpole. I thought he was awful. I thought Scarlett's got the movement, but his composure is dreadful, man. Took it around the goalkeeper. All he's got to do is slide it home, and he fucking blasts it. Like, the composure. Just take your time, relax. And that's what I like from Lancashire, the relaxed nature. Is like, all right, I'll beat my man and get a shot off.
Just one game. Just one game. You saw him against Shakhtar Donetsk. What Scarlett did, that was a flipping worldy goal. He spun on the sixpence and whacked it into the top corner. If you don't call that composure, you have a bad game as a striker. Even Harry Kane misses chances.
I'm sorry, but you're doing what every Spurs fan does. You're clinging on to one moment. Eric Edmond was the best Premier League left back in ever because he scored that screamer.
Have you watched the boy play?
I've seen him play loads of times. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've seen him as well, and I think he will cut the mustard. That's my personal opinion.
So why didn't he score a single goal at Ipswich? Why didn't he score a goal at the season before that?
It doesn't mean anything. Harry Kane didn't score at Leicester. He didn't score at
2
Millwall.
seasons, 0 goals.
Harry Kane scored 0 goals, hardly anything. And then he came and then he got his chance in the first team, right? And he flew, right? What's to say that Dane Scarlett can't do the same? Right,
in my opinion,
you're basically saying that he hasn't got no composure. Yes, he has, because he's.
So where was that today?
He scored a lot of goals for Tottenham throughout his career, and he's been.
When he's done it in the Premier League,
and that's why he got on the bench more than Lancashire. That's why he got on the bench more than Mikey Moore, because they trust him more than Mikey 16. Moore than Lancashire at this present time.
Is there an argument to be had to say that Veliz went on loan to Seville and flopped? Dane Scarlett, the loan he has, none of them really worked well. Whereas you look at Barrett, he went on loan to Holland and he did really well there, and they've signed him, and he's going to be the starting striker or one of the starting strikers there. You look at some of our other youngsters, like Ashley Phillips. He went on loan. He had a really good loan spirit this season. Scarlett and Veliz, even on loan, aren't hitting the ground.
Yeah, you know what happened to him.
So what I'm trying to say is, where's the evidence other than what he's done internally? Where's the evidence in the big boys league where we say, do you know what? They've got it?
Right. So, again, when he was at Portsmouth, they had the change of manager and he played him on the wing, and he hardly ever played him, right? And there was a reason why he didn't play, because he fell out. That new manager that came in, he didn't fancy Dane Scarlett. Some managers do not fancy players, right? And he played him on the wing when he did play him. Dane Scarlett is not a winger, he's a striker. And I saw him when he came on against Burnley. His movement was fabulous. He was creating angles for himself. He was making angles for himself to score goals. And Sonny didn't find him quite a few times. They didn't pass to him. And you could see he was getting frustrated, right? Strikers need to be fed, right? And if he misses a chance against Heart of Midlothian, that doesn't make him a bad player. That doesn't make him...
Who said he was a bad player?
Yeah, but you're making out that he's not going to cut the mustard. And
I never said anything. I said that he has no composure. And that's been proved with his goal-scoring record for Ipswich, for Tottenham.
He scored hundreds of goals for Spurs in his career.
Okay, name me one big goal he scored for Tottenham. One big goal that's in pressure moment. He took his chance away nice.
He hasn't had his chance in the first.
He's been on 2 loans. How many more excuses does he need? If he was that good, he would have put away a few goals.
He's only young. Harry Kane was 21 when he broke into the team.
Okay, let me ask you this question. Let me change the question a bit. Does anyone here think Dane Scarlett or Liz are going to get a genuine chance at Spurs, a proper run of games?
No.
I think Dane Scarlett will be a bencher.
No. He's going to
get.
I
agree with James.
Whether he gets a chance, it depends on our strikers, how they're performing.
Ellie, Ellie, you know I love you. You know I see you the queen, but unfortunately,
I just like the player. I think he's a good.
I agree with James. I agree with James because the reason why I agree with James, right, and he said something very important, right, is that he's had how many loans? He hasn't turned up.
Yeah, but
I'm sorry, it's a ruthless game. It's a ruthless. Yeah, but unfortunately, he got lucky. He got lucky. He got lucky. Eddie, unfortunately, he got lucky.
You're writing off Dane Scarlett.
Box office.
Harry Kane.
Box office.
Go on, James. What are you going to say?
He played 34 games last season and scored 4 goals. 34 games he played in and scored 4 goals.
James, was that 34 full games or 34 games where
it doesn't say, but it just said to be involved in 34 games and scored 4 goals.
If he came on for 10 minutes in like half of them.
But it's still, I'd expect more than 4 goals, no?
Where's that from?
Just rate him on one season, James.
Yeah, but Ellie, unfortunately.
So what are you rating him on then? You're rating him on 1 goal against Shakhtar.
I agree to disagree with you both. I just think Dane Scarlett will make it.
Okay, is there enough
that he will make it as a striker because he's got all the attributes?
So listen, everyone's got their view, right? It's actually a good conversation. Is there any evidence other than individual opinion to back up keeping Scarlett or Liz?
I'll check.
We
said the same thing about Parrott. We said the same thing about Parrott. Yes, he's come good in Holland. Yes, he's come good in Holland, but we still
he had 1,700 minutes. So if we divide that by 90, that works out to 18 games he's played. 19 games he's played, and he got 4 goals.
Yeah, you look at
I'll rest my case.
Look at his England record. It's exemplary.
But it's not a top level.
All throughout his career, he's been scoring goals since he was 8 years old.
I'm not against you. I'm just stating the facts as we know them. His England record will be against kids his same age, right?
Yeah.
It'll be like
of course.
Okay. So this is the men's game now. Is there anything to suggest he can make the step up?
We don't know. We don't know if he can make the step up because he hasn't been given the chance yet. He's
Ellie, he's been given the chance. He's been given chances.
He's had 5 minutes here, 10 minutes
No, but Ellie, he has been given the chance.
Not in the first team. Not in the first team.
But you're not understanding what I'm saying. You're not understanding what I'm saying. He's been given a chance on loan. He's failed. He's failed.
No, he didn't. He didn't.
No. But
he's failed his loan.
But he's failed his loan. He's failed his loan.
Portsmouth changed their manager, like I said.
Yeah, but regardless whether he's changed his manager,
that's nothing. That's irrelevant.
Yeah, but Ellie, regardless of whether he changed his manager,
the new manager came in and he had new ideas. He saw Dane Scarlett and he played him on the wing.
Yeah, but Ellie, the point I'm making is right. You're playing men's football, right? This is how life is. Yeah, manager changes. He's got different ideas.
Right.
So he's got to acclimatise what he needs to do.
I said the yardstick was Harry Kane. Harry Kane didn't have one good loan. He didn't have one good loan.
You're trying to sort of
Spurs
twist the argument.
Got his chance.
But Harry
You're
Kane
trying to
appeared
twist
in
the
Europe.
argument
Then he
because
flew. What's
Harry
to
Kane
say
appeared
Dave
in the
Stark
Europa
won't
Cup.
fly?
And then when he
No
done
one
good in the
knows.
Europa Cup, we played
You
him more.
can't just
That's
write him off just like that.
no
Yeah,
one's
but
right.
Ellie-
Who's writing him off? No one's writing him off.
Well, you're
I am.
saying
I am,
he's
because
I said he's got.
supposedly-
I said he's got no composure. I said he's got no composure.
No, of course he's got composure. He scored many goals for Spurs.
Where are you looking at all these goals for Spurs? I've got his stats up now. I'll tell you how many he scored. He scored 33 goals in his whole career.
That's
Whole
rubbish.
career.
You're not
It's
looking
not.
at the right stats then.
His only good
Spurs
season.
old.
His
He's been
only
with us
good
since
season was
8
for.
years old. He hasn't
No,
just
he's
scored 33 goals since he was 8.
mate. I've
Right.
got everything
Harry
here.
Kane, look, I'll cite Harry Kane. Harry Kane didn't.
We're not talking about Harry
go
Kane.
on loan.
We're not talking
And
about Harry
look at
Kane.
him now. He hasn't won a trophy.
Please don't
That
tell
is
me you're
broken a lot of
comparing Dane
records.
Scarlett to Harry Kane. That's madness. That's madness.
How can you not? Who do you think? How do you think Harry Kane became good? He wasn't good at that age.
Please don't tell me you're
He wasn't
comparing
even
Dane
in the
Scarlett to
team
Harry
at
Kane.
that age.
he got a
I'm
chance
comparing.
in the Europa.
I actually think I am closer to Ronaldinho than Dane Scarlett is to Harry Kane.
That's rubbish. Talking out
Facts.
the bumhole. Talking out
Like I
the
just said to you,
bumhole.
in his
Don't know
whole
what you're
career,
talking
his
about.
best
How
season.
did you say Harry Kane was the finished article? He got into
Who
the
said
team.
that? You're making words up again, Ellie.
What are you on about? He went on loan. He was rubbish. He
Did I
didn't
say
do
it?
well.
But you're making this argument. You're trying to put Harry Kane in the agenda to bring somebody up. I've never said nothing about that.
Not going to make it.
What I said, you said to me, he scored loads and loads of goals for Tottenham. He's
He
had
has
one good
scored loads
season.
of goals. You're looking at the wrong record.
Let me read out to you what he scored. His best season was for the under-18s Premier League. 20 games, 18 goals. Fantastic. Other than that, he's never scored more than 5 goals in a season, and that was a youth cup that wasn't actually in a season.
Yeah. So why has Postecoglou put him on the bench then?
Because it's pre-season.
I'm giving you the facts. You told me he scored loads and loads of goals, and now I answer your question, and now you change it with another question rather than.
I'm not. I'm just saying that they see something in Dane Scarlett that I see.
But it's pre-season though. It's pre-season though. We've got nobody. Everyone's coming back from Euros at the moment and Copa America. So at the moment, he's got his opportunity because basically they need to get bodies in, and that's it at the moment. But Ellie, you've got it's all love. You know it's all love. Me and you, yeah. You know it's all love, yeah. Right? It's nothing personal. You know I love you.
Don't put me down because I like a player and you
No,
don't.
no, Ellie,
condescending.
Ellie, you know it's all love between me and you.
You two are being condescending to me. You're putting me down.
No,
I'm not. I'm answering your question. You told me he scored loads of goals. I told you the stat, and then you answered me with a question. You didn't answer.
Yeah, because why has Postecoglou put him on the bench if he's no good?
Ellie, hold on. Ellie, guys, everyone, please. Everyone just take a deep breath. Let's just remember, it's just a couple of views and opinions. It's the first game of the season.
Yeah,
We're going to find out. We're going to find out. But I could just see this spiraling and it doesn't need to. That's all. Look, let's move on from Liz. I want to talk about this comment. Ange Postecoglou, his post-match interview, he was asked about transfers and he said, nothing's really changed. We've got a strategy in place about what we want to do. I'm really happy with the 2 lads we've brought in, both obviously very talented, but more importantly, really ambitious. I'm not too sure which 2 lads he's talking about because we've brought a few young players. They're not here to ease their way in to play, and I think that's great. They've brought a good energy to the group, and no doubt there will be a couple more additions, but I'm comfortable with where we're at. Now, do you see as him saying, we're cool, relax, the squad's how I want it? Or is that him saying, it's going to be some more key players coming in? Because he did say, his exact words were, no doubt there'll be a couple more additions, meaning there's going to be some more signings. Or is that him saying, look, we're cool, when the signs come, if they come, what they are like, whatever it is, Is he? I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm making an absolute mess of this. Is he trying to say this is going to be the squad? This is what it's going to look like. Plus the ones coming back from Copa America and Euros. That's the way we're going to go forward. Or is he saying, look, this is where we are just for today? Like 4 or 5 weeks time, we're going to have more players in. It's going to be a little bit more different, and those players aren't going to be more youth; they're going to be experienced. What do you take by that? Because he said, look, it's all good. It's all
Nobody knows, because he basically already admitted before the end of the season that we're going to go for quantity, not quality. He basically admitted it. He might as well have put his hands up and said it. He said every word but that, basically. I'm still going to have to see things before I get excited, basically. And at the moment, I'm not going to... Obviously, Timo Werner, he don't even come into that. The player is shit, period. End of. The other two boys, they're young boys. They've never played in the Premiership. The way everyone got overhyped about Archie Gray, okay, he might end up good. I hope I have to eat my words with it, but I don't think I will, because he's never played in the Premiership. He has never played proper top football. He's never played international football, but under 21s, but we all know that don't count for nothing when it comes to the full international. I'm going to have to see him do things to believe it. And I need to see some proper transfers to even think we got a chance of getting in 5th place, because Man U mean business. They're already hunting. You can already see it. Arsenal are just waiting. I know they've just screwed that one up with Calfore. Aston Villa, they're going for it. They don't have to hunt players. Yeah, they don't have to hunt players like we do.
They're going for Talibo. You know that's going for Talibo. Sorry to interrupt you, Dan. You know they're going for Talibo.
Sign him on loan.
The top 4 teams, well, top 3, they don't really have to hunt players like we do, because they've already got their shit together. We're trying to catch up with them, and we are not going to catch up with them with 2 schoolboys and a reject like Timo Werner. We need to see at least 3 players that walk into that first 11 to make that team better. I'm not interested about just making this squad better. I want that 11 better. And Angel, he already basically admitted that we go for quantity, not quality.
I think I absolutely agree with what Dan is saying, because that's exactly what I've said the whole transfer window, and I'm not even basing it on the transfer window. I'm saying the whole season for me and next season, because I don't think he's going to be here next season, Ange. Right? But for me, at the moment, he said from the very get-go, he said we're going to do quantity over quality, and we're seeing right now what we're seeing at the moment. I don't think anything's changing for me. The squad don't really make no sense at the moment. We have to make sells at the moment. We're not making sells, so like I don't know at the moment. I really don't know, and really from what he just said there, I can't make out whatever he's saying at the moment. As far as I'm concerned, I'm sorry, I just don't know. I don't know. I really don't know.
And plus, where he spoke so much crap at times and said things he really don't need to, and shot himself in the foot and the back of the head at the same time, we don't know how serious to take this manager. We don't know. Well, other people want to take him serious on everything, but he contradicts himself on so much stuff. And then when he goes and says every player is my choice, again, he shoots himself in the foot, basically. And he's contradicted himself with other things. We don't actually know how serious to take this manager. Or I don't anyway. I can only speak for me on this one. But that's how I feel with him. I just don't know how serious to take him, because he's contradicted himself so much.
Let me ask you this, okay? He talks about some additions, okay? In your opinion, okay, most fans have said we desperately need a number 6. In fact, let me ask you this one, Ellie. We desperately need a number 6.
Yeah,
we desperately need a striker, and we need an attacking wide player. Now, do you think we're going to get them, or is it going to be actually we're going to go with Richarlison's son and maybe Veliz or Scarlett for number 9 with the wide players? We've signed Timo. Looks like we're going to play Bergvall, so maybe that's sorted. And the number 6, I don't know. Basuma played there again today. Maybe pushes Archie Gray in there. What, Tyrese Hall got to run out. Do you think he's going to buy those positions, or is he thinks this is the way we're going to do it?
Like every season we leave ourselves short. I done a show earlier today where I said we leave ourselves short. We never fill the positions that we really, really need. We know we need a number 6. to get a number 6 like Rodri in that same mould as Rodri, that would be fabulous. But we're not going to get it because they don't really identify what we need. Like they left us short at the back last season up to January. Then they signed Dragushin. Then they don't play him. Ridiculous. Right, ridiculous. What's the point of signing him if you're not going to play him? The last 5 or 6 games, they gave him a chance, right? And then we need a striker. 100%, we need a striker because with that, look, Arsenal scored 91 goals last season and never won the league, right? I think we scored 60 something, right? That's nowhere near enough. We need another 40 goals on top to compete with Man City because they're easily scoring 95 to 100 goals a season because that's what they do, right? Okay, they fell a little bit short this season, but normally they score that many goals, right? So we need to get up our game. And then the wingers, we've got pants wingers. We've got Solomon, we've got Johnson and Werner. The only decent winger we've got is Sonny because he can create and score.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only one we've got. And he's up and down. He's choppy, Sonny. He's not consistent right through the season.
He's not even a winger, Ellie.
3 there, and then he'll go 6 games without scoring. But we need a consistent winger. Yeah, he's patchy.
But he's not even a winger. He's an inside forward.
Yeah.
He's not even a winger. He can't cross come love nor money.
That's
he can't.
right.
His passing ain't all that. What Sonny's brilliant at?
Is good though. His assist record is good, Dan. But
he can't
rely
cross.
on him. We can't rely on him for the whole of the season because
No.
he's a choppy player, right?
He
so
can't.
we need
Cross.
We need 2 wingers actually, because if we're going to play Kulu as a false 9, that we tried him out, that's his real position. He's a false 9, or just behind.
I said that over a year ago.
That's how he should be played, right? So we were playing him out of position, and he looks out of sorts. But we do need those 3 positions still, whether we get them or not. I don't trust our club. I don't trust us because we never do what we're supposed to do. Right, and I'm really angry and frustrated that we don't fill the positions that we're really weak in, and that number 6 role is very vital.
But Ellie, are we actually going to do that? Like I said before, because like I said
don't think so.
Because we've already got enough forwards already. Right, only got 1 spot left. Right,
but
because we ain't selling. So I really do not think. Right. I really do not think we are selling Richarlison. Richarlison looks happy as Larry. He looks happy as Larry. He's working hard in the gym, right? Way before preseason starts, right? With Basuma, right? So that's not a guy that's looking like saying, I want to leave.
No,
right?
But if he gets offered 300-400 grand a week, Alex, he's gone, mate. Money
Dan,
speaks louder
I need to
than
see
words.
it. Like you're saying, bro, I need to see
I
it.
get you. I get your point. But if he gets offered 400 grand, he's off.
You know how I feel about this club right now. You know how my feelings right now. You know. But I just need to say this. Just to say this asks you, Ellie. Yeah. Because I just want to get back to just building that relationship back to good relationship we have. Yeah. What I'm saying is
sometimes I get a bit Greek.
Yeah, I love it's all love between us.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. Can you see why I'm concerned? You can see why I'm concerned.
Slipper off. The slipper.
Yeah, it's all love between us anyway. But the point is, the point that I'm asking is that what you can see why I'm concerned, right? And I think Dan and I think even James, I think can concur with me in that as well. Why I'm concerned about our front three because I do not see us getting. I don't think we're getting a striker. I do not think we're getting a striker because if we were to get a striker. Bang money on the table for Ivan Toney right now, right? Say this is our striker right now. We'll take him off your hands. That's it, done. Yeah. But we're not doing it. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. If we really wanted a winger, put how much money on the table for Eze right now, right? Okay, and then it's done. Yeah. Stop making excuses to bang money on the table right now.
Yeah, because we've got the bloody money.
That's our winger. Yeah, but we're not doing it.
Let me bring in James. Let me bring in James a minute. James, so the number 6, an attacking wide player and a striker. Do you think we're going to bring any of those in of proven quality? And also, do you think we need to sell players before we do it? Because we're still not we still haven't shifted out the deadwood. We've got quite a big squad at the moment if we include all these kids in it.
I think we'll get one or two more. Yeah, I do think we'll get a striker. I think every supposedly ITK has said striker, 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 striker. So I think if we don't get a striker, I think that it would be a bit like, okay, well, whose fault's that? If Ange's asked for him, everyone knows Ange's asked for one. We don't get it. I think we will get a striker. And I mean, I'm going to go against the grain here a little bit. Since Ange's come in, I think we've actually got rid of quite a few players in comparison to what we normally do. Your Dyers, they've all gone. This season, obviously, Sessignon, Dombele. I know, all right, there's not loads and loads, but we've actually started trying to shift them out. There's talk with Emerson Royale. There's sort of like murmurings. Hugo Lloris went. So I think Rome wasn't built in a day, trying to be a bit more positive, but I think the players are on their way out. And I do think we'll get a striker, but I don't think we'll get a 6.
The problem is, if we stick with this youth idea, Spurs, I don't think are in a position where they can go with a youth system. Reason being, we have won nothing, and that is that at the end of the day. If we stick with this youth system, someone like Romero, Van der Ven, and Doji, they're going to sit there and start looking at it and think, well, hang on a minute. Bigger clubs who want to win things are coming for me now. Yeah, and as all we're doing is buying youth players and players like Timo Werner. Yeah, baked potato. See you later. I'm off. And then when the youth players come through to say 21, 22, start looking very, very good, and we still haven't won nothing, and we've got no serious talent on that pitch, because we'll never get world class, but very, very good players, they're just going to look at it and think, well, I've got my stepping stone now. I'll go to whoever, like the bigger club who actually wants to win stuff. That's why I don't think we should concentrate on this youth thing as much as we are. We need to win things now. We need players that can do things now, that are going to make those youth players want to stay at Spurs and become part of it.
Because it's not
otherwise,
a rebuild,
we're just a stepping stone.
It's not a rebuild, isn't it, Dan? Because we ain't won nothing. It's a build. That's the
Exactly.
thing. That's what this is what winds me up now, right?
It's
and
true.
Someone said it a couple of years ago, and now he's gone back and said it's a rebuild. And he just hypocrites himself, by the way.
There's nothing to rebuild.
You know what I mean? It's nothing to rebuild because we've not won anything. We've not won anything, and that's
we've
the
got
thing.
to build something.
And the thing is, though, when people keep on saying, "Oh, we need to take a few years," Romero's out the door next season, because if Real Madrid are there, he's like I said on my channel, Mr. Box Office TV. He's out that door so fast that he's faster than bloody Ancelotti. Yeah, went from Everton. You know what I mean? Went from Everton to Real Madrid, and look what he's now, a legend. There.
And Alex,
you know what I mean?
If Van der Ven has another season like this one, you know someone like Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, PSG are going to come hunting for him.
The only reason why he's not going to go, Dan, is if his hamstring gets on.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he keeps on trying to defend us.
Yeah,
but don't even get me started on Dragon because his agent's already twerking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I mean?
I want to ask you one last question before we wrap it up, because we've been going for over 2 hours. Last question, and you can plug the channels as well. I'll start with you, James. We'll go around. Ellie can go. I'll go last, actually. Who was the one player for you that stood out the most today, bar anyone else, that impressed you, that made you think, you know what, this is someone we really need to play again and again and again?
There was probably 2, to be honest. And the reason I'm going to say 2 is because I've seen so much crap from the first one, being Spence. And the second one, I really liked the way Mikey Moore was moving side to side. I thought the way he was drifting was something that we haven't seen in a long time.
Mikey Moore and Jed Spence. Dan, what about you?
I mainly only saw the first half, and I must admit that Donnelly, he impressed me, since he was even playing out of position for part of it. He's one who I don't think is a bad idea to not necessarily put in the first team, but definitely put on the bench as well. He's one I definitely want to see more of. Gray and Bergville looked all right from what I saw of them. I mean, Gray messed up a couple of times.
You only get to pick one. You only get to pick
Donnelly.
one. You've gone with Donnelly.
Donnelly.
Donnelly. What about you, Alex? You saw the highlights. So from the highlights,
Spence.
Jed Spence, yeah. Spence.
Yeah.
Got a quick super chat here. Then we'll go to Ellie. A user says thoughts on Chiesa reps talk with Spurs concrete. A user, go back. We spoke about Chiesa earlier. Thanks for super
Don't
chat.
go back.
Rewind it back. We did Chiesa. We're not going back into it. Ellie, who was your standout player today?
I'm torn. I'm torn between Tyrese Hall, just for that drop of the shoulder and leaving the player for dead, and Mikey Moore. I agree with you, James. He was exceptional. The movement and the expansion of the play, and just his general play as well. Like he's a very clever player. You can see that he's got it, the boy, right? And I know you have to pick one, so I'll have to pick Mikey Moore.
He was good.
Mikey
Yeah.
Moore. A lot of people in the chat said Mikey Moore. For me, I agree with Alex. I thought Jed Spence was the standout player today. There's a lot of good performances from youngsters. But
I mean,
Jed
Lancashire, we didn't even mention Lancashire. He played really well.
I thought it was a good goal, to be fair. I thought it was a good goal from Lancashire. And I do
Well,
agree.
didn't he?
Listen, I'm not going to go over the top about Mikey Moore because I think Mikey Moore's very young. And he needs to, I think, like I said, but I think he has got something. Yes, he definitely has. But again, I will be concerned if a 16-year-old is our top player in our squad. I'm sorry, I'll be concerned. And it'll be looking at the players that are experienced. I'm looking at Kulu. As far as I'm concerned, needs to be at the club as far as I'm concerned as quickly as possible because he's just. I'm sorry. How many seasons do you need? How many seasons do you need? Yeah. Supposedly the best thing in Sweden right now. I'm sorry. Just get me out of here. Sorry.
I'm going to stick to what I've been saying on this channel for months, right? And I'm going to stick with it. Next season, the only player you're going to see get regular minutes is Bergville. I don't think Lancashire, Mikey Moore, Donnelly, Tyree, I don't think they're going to get regular minutes. They might get the odd run out.
What about the new lad that's just signed?
So kudos. Yes, the 16-year-old looked good. Yeah, in Spain. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Does look good. But look how many times he played for Barcelona, bruv. You know what I mean? Get back in your box, bruv. You know what I mean? I know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean?
What about
don't disagree with Mr. Box Office, the main event, bruv, because I'm a nightmare.
Alex,
I'm a nightmare. Sorry, Stelios. Sorry to interrupt you. I just had to make someone clear. You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna be no filter. That's it. Back to you, Stelios. Sorry, bruv.
I think next season. I think what you're going to see next season is Vicario, Van der Ven, Romero. If Van der Ven or Romero injured or sub, it'll be Dragusin, not actually Phillips or Donnelly or anyone else. Then you're going to see Adogi and Porro as the wing backs. The midfield will be Bentancur, Bissouma, Pape Sarr, Madison. I don't think any youngsters are going to get in ahead of any of them. And then the front three, it'll be a combination of Son, Richarlison, Timo, Johnson, and Bergville. Because for me, I don't know which of these players Angie's going to have the balls to drop and bring in a Tyrese Hall, a Lancashire, a Mikey Moore, a Tyree. I just don't see it, man. I'm being straight up with you. And
no, I agree.
When I spoke to the academy, director last year, he told me this. So, and watching it today and thinking, listen, would I give these youngsters a chance? Yeah, I would. I absolutely would give them a chance. Is Ange and is Ange going to do it when it comes to the crunch time? And his job is to get results.
If this is Pochettino,
exactly. Can he afford
he ain't doing
to?
it. Of course he ain't.
Can he afford to?
If this is Pochettino, I bet you any day, any money, he would do it.
Yeah.
He would do it.
I said the end of last season, this is the perfect squad for Pochettino.
Yeah, I agree.
Listen, I'm not twerking for him there, but I'm just saying, yeah, right. Okay, Ange is a very good manager, Yeah, because he can get you to believe whatever. Yeah, but I'm sorry, the coaching is less to be desired at the moment. This is where I'm judging him right now.
He doesn't
Massively.
do the coaching. He doesn't
Yeah, I
do the
know.
coaching.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying at the moment. Is that now I'm starting to look at the coaching staff he's bringing in right now, because this new coaching staff, right, have to do
Got
some
sacked from
major
Scotland.
surgery and major coaching on this team right now. Yeah, because there's lots of players there that need to improve. Yeah, and I don't know how you're going to do that when you've got 2 games a week next season.
Listen, I'll tell you
so
now, right? The truth of what team you'll see on the starting game of the season. Watch who we put out against Bayern Munich, and that'll tell you what's what. Watch who he plays against Bayern Munich, and that'll tell you everything. And you ain't going to see all these kids playing. I'll tell you now. You ain't going to see 11 subs at half time and everyone get a run out. You ain't going to see 3 different goalkeepers playing. None of that.
I would lose a lot of respect for him if he gives none of the kids a chance. And I'm like a massive Ange in. Like I've said the whole time, I'll only be Ange out when the owners have backed the manager. Until then, I'll always be the manager in.
James,
but
he had the
for
perfect
me,
chance to do it last season, and he didn't.
Yeah, but for me, maybe. But for me,
so why is
if he then
do
doesn't bring in the kids after what he said in the Euros, where it's lovely to see all the kids coming through and the kids be given a chance, if he then doesn't give any of them a chance, that's a bit of a like. Because I know people say pick him up about having the last say on transfers, but of course he has to say that. But to go on to talk about neutral football and say, listen, the kids should be given a chance, like that's nothing to do with Tottenham, and then go back to Tottenham and not give the kids a chance. That for me is a bit like, okay, well, you don't even say what you believe.
Listen, if he plays the kids in the Premier League, he's risking us improving up the league table, right? It's a big risk. If he plays him in the cup and we get knocked out the cup, the fans are going to switch. The fans are going to lose the plot if the cup's early again. Let's say first round of the cup, we get West Ham away. He's not playing the kids, man. There's no way. We lose away to West Ham.
But still,
Project
that
Youth.
brings me to my theory. That brings
all
you
these
to my
fans
theory
now
though.
that are saying, "Yeah, go with the kids. Yeah, Project Youth. All right, let's go away to West Ham in the first round of the cup. If we lose, let's see what they say then."
But yeah, so
Our
that
fan
brings you
base
to my
switches
theory.
like this.
That brings you to my theory then. If he's doing that, right, your owner should be backing him then. You should stick with your manager then. Ignore the fans. Again, you're just going back to my thunder again. I don't want to remind people. I don't want to
it's
bore
not the
people.
chairman sticking with the manager, Alex. It's the manager making the decision of what he thinks he's going to do.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So if you love Postecoglou, then you stick with his decision making.
What Alex is saying is if we drop down to 8th and go out the cup, they still need to back him and not sack him, even if he's decided to play for the kids.
If you're doing that,
the fans won't back him. The fans won't.
No,
back
I
him.
know.
Exactly.
But
So that shows another leadership. That shows. Okay, you're serious then. Okay, right. So you really do back this guy then. That's cool.
This
right, so
manager said he was anxious before the Man City Spurs game. He was anxious what people will think of him. He will not have the minerals to do it when it comes down to it because he knows he's going to be judged this season on how we do in the cups and where we finish in the league. He will be judged this season. Last year was the past. This year is going to be judged.
Don't tell me to back the manager again. This is the thing.
Listen,
this is why I'm saying what I've said.
If we play some team from a remote village in Ireland or Slovakia in Europe, he might play the kids. He might play the kids because the kids actually beat them, right? If we get drawn against Blackpool in the cup, he might play quite a few kids.
The sad thing is,
Fulham away, a West Ham away. If we get drawn against a Lazio, or he ain't doing it, man. There's no way. It's suicide.
Is Project U a bit of in between? Like what we're thinking is the extreme end. But what if Project Youth was Will Lancashire and Mikey Mooring, or Will Lancashire and Ashley Phillips, and then we're 2-0 up, second half, Will Lancashire comes off and on comes Donnelly. Is that not Project Youth as well as like a bit of both, rather than like Project Youth doesn't have to be 11 kids start now because we're in a cup. It could be 2 or 3.
James, your boy was in an academy, right?
Yeah, it still is, yeah.
Oh, it still is, okay. Good. You know as well as I do, if you don't play regular matches, regular minutes, you're not developing.
Of course.
Yeah. You're not developing. So if he's going to do
Yeah, of
Project
course.
Youth, pay him. You've got to play him week in, week out. You've got to pay him. Otherwise, it's for the birds. They're not going to progress. And the youngsters like the Cole Palmers, the youngsters like the Sackers and the Fodens that play the youngsters at Liverpool, like who they got in the midfield, those two kids they got in the middle, I forgot. They came on.
Harvey Elliott. Is it Harvey Elliott?
Yeah,
and
right.
Curtis
They
Jones.
get a lot of they get a lot of game time. That's why they're progressing. If you
How
bring
old
on
is Palmer?
I think he's 21. I think 21.
So
or something.
yeah. So in fairness, if this last season was his major first season at 2021, we're talking about like 16-year-olds and 18-year-olds. So could they not be bit part players for a year or two, get in with a training, and then go out on loan? Or
Udogie plays every game. Udogie plays every game. Pape Sarr played a lot of games. That's why they cemented and you could say they improved.
And there were
Pape Sarr's better
had,
now than when we signed him. Udogie's better now than when we signed him.
Because he was playing.
Are they the
teams,
finished product? No. But they play. It's minutes.
But,
you need
but
game
they were
time.
playing in teams still. They might have been playing in teams that had a better makeup of players that are experienced to make them learn. That's the thing. Because when you look at our team at the moment, like I said before, which is a concern for me, I don't see someone that they could just look up to. Because all they've got is Davis, Romero, and Bentancur is going to be leaving soon. So, like, you know what I mean? It's there's not
Maddison,
that much.
Would you say Mikey Moore would look up to Maddison? Do you reckon?
You know what? I need to have a little bit more time with Maddison.
Look at Eddie Nketiah at Arsenal. He's gone to shit. Why? He doesn't get minutes.
I know.
He doesn't play. He hasn't developed.
But then in saying that though, if you still have a leadership around you, right, that you can look up to and say, well, you need to pull your finger out, son. You know what I mean?
Well, they've got Jermaine Defoe as a coach, haven't they? And he's done very well.
He's gone. He's gone now. He's going.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Last year they had him.
Listen, either this manager has the balls and says, right, Richie, Timo, Lo Celso, Skip, whoever else, Emerson, and out. The kids are taking your.
You know what? I think people have been harsh on the. You know what?
Project Youth.
I look
if he doesn't
stupid.
do that, it's all waffle. Fans are just doing shows for the sake of subscribes and likes. They're talking out their arse.
Can I just say something about Lo Celso though? Yeah, right. I think I look like a really hypocritical.
He's made of glass, Alex. He's made of glass.
But there is something in this guy. There is something in this guy, right? I think he's got a little bit of arrogance and a little bit of swag. I don't think we can handle it because yes, he is injury prone, but he's always winning that. He's always looking like a winner in Argentina. I didn't realize he's won trophies already previously as well.
Yeah,
he's a very good player, Alex. It's just he's literally made a Weetabix. The fella has got Weetabix for ankles and glass for
I think
kneecaps.
he's got better mentality.
He's the best number 8 at the club.
Yeah, but you can have all the mentality in the world. If you're built of glass, you're screwed.
Yeah.
I
think he's got better mentality than some of our players have got at the moment. I think he's got
what does
better
the mentality matter if you're always bloody injured? You can have the best mentality on the planet, but he's always bloody injured. He can't handle a game. He is as bad as Darren Anderton was. He's got it.
Listen, I'm telling you now, right? There's kids in that academy. I know this for a fact. If they don't get first team minutes and they don't start playing for Spurs, they're off. If Mikey Moore isn't a first Spurs in the next 2 years, he's off. He's too good. He's too good to not play regular football. Is he ready right now?
Everyone sniffing around now.
Yeah, is he ready right now? No, he's not. He's about a year out. Mikey Moore's about a year out. He's about a year out, but he should be getting some minutes. But he's a year out. But there's players there like, listen, the Lancashires, he's going to go out on loan. If he doesn't get regular minutes, he does one at the loan spell. He's going to want a contract there because he wants a career in the sport. He's going to want a career.
I just want to say this.
He's another one. These youngsters can get a career. Look, I was told this, right? Chris Ramsey, who developed Harry Kane, worked under Sherwood. Then now he's the academy director at QPR. He developed Eze, Elise, top youth coach. I did a session with him once, and he said to me, he asked a question to the group: how do you know it? How do you know if you've made it in the game? How do you know if you've made it? And I said, oh, if you're Premier League football. He goes, no. I said, all right, what is it? He goes, if you get paid to play, you've made it. If you're earning 500 quid a week in Division 3, you've made it because you are being paid to play the sport. That's when you've made it. So these kids, that's what they're told, right? They're going to want a career. They're not going to hang around at Spurs waiting. They're going to say, listen, Marcus Edwards, all right, we got rid of him. Who's that? Madueke. Spurs were not giving him game time. See you later. Now he's at Chelsea. Whether he's good or not doesn't matter. He's got a career now. He's earning a salary. It's his job. These youngsters we've got, if he doesn't bed them in, they're off. I'm telling you now, they're all off, one by one.
I mean, if Dortmund come in for Mikey Moore, if we haven't played him in that's going to be the perfect place for him to go because he's going to see where everyone adapts at Dortmund. He's going to know he's going to get game time there. Again, baked potato. See you later, mate.
And his agent is going to know for the next 10 years, I can make money out of you. Go to Dortmund, do well like Bellingham and Sancho, and I'll bring you back here. I'll get you a big contract and I'll get paid on that as well. You know, that's the game.
The situation Ange's in now, he's done himself up like a kipper again. He had the perfect chance last season to actually try things out. But one of the things that got me personally is he tried basically nothing. It was like, right, this is how we're playing, end of. And you see it all start up good. And then by the end of the season, it looked like most of the players didn't even want to know him anymore. Like, know his style. It went downhill. They got worse at it at one game a week. And that was a chance, if anything, he could have tried some different things, could have tried some of the youth, whatever, in certain games, certain numbers of them. Is he really going to do it on this season, on the crunch, where if we go by history, again, because we don't know if he's going to get backed up, because we never hear nothing, and it's never happened before, that if he ain't in fourth place by January, or at least 6 points away from it, he's gone. So is he even going to take the risk of using the youth academy or using some of the good youth players we got? I don't think he's got the ball.
Dan, like I said, Emerson's, Ben Davies, who else we got? Probably Skip, let's be honest about it. Lo Celso, Werner, bring in Werner. What a joke. He's taken up a place for a youngster. Well, it's a fucking joke. Richarlison's not good enough. Get rid of them. And there's the places for the kids. And then you can bed them in. And do you know what? I think fans will accept it. They'll accept that. But if they don't do that, and these kids don't get proper minutes, I can see problems. I can see problems.
So you see the youngsters leaving then, basically, yeah?
Well, the youngsters leaving, fans getting pissed off because look at the hype today. And if we don't get the results with the first teamers and the youngsters haven't been given a look in, that's on the manager. As much as I want Levy out, and I can't stand this chairman, that will be on the manager.
And still, you said before there's only 3% of all academy players that make the grade. Remember, you said that 3% of
at the club they're at. At the club they're at.
The club they're at,
a lot of them end up at like lower leagues.
They move on and then they make a career for themselves. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a very poor stat, isn't it? 3% only at their clubs make it into the first team and actually play minutes and develop their game. Sad. It's very sad. It's bad and sad.
Look, every professional football player starts in an academy, so the system works, right? Every player does start. All of our players started off in an academy, but not ours. Just not our academy. But that's pretty normal, I guess, But listen, I'm going to wrap it up. I want to say a quick thank you to Bring It Big Boy channel member for 4 months. Where is he? Here he is. Who says, what are we signing? Racing for the title race. I'm done. Big up, Bring It Big Boy. Also, thank you to Bedknobs and Broomsticks, Faz, and A User. Big up to everyone who's on the show tonight. If you've got a channel, plug it. Say your good nights and whatnot. We'll be back on tomorrow. Mari's got North London is ours. I'll be back on Sunday talking about the QPR game. I'm not doing the Saturday night show because Saba's doing a 24-hour charity stream, so I don't want to interrupt that for him. So I'm going to do the Saturday match, post-match show on the Sunday. James, You on any channels this week, or are you just hopping around as always?
I think I'm with Ryan tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Tottenham on tour. But other than that, I'm just in the chats, to be fair.
Yeah.
Check out James tomorrow, Tottenham on tour. Dan, Hotspur Hood Massive. Go subscribe to his channel. When you next on, Dan? What are you doing this week? Dan has the best thumbnails in the game. You know that? His thumbnails are ridiculous.
They're artistic.
Well, you just got to have a bit of a weird imagination, and some people you don't get a nickname like Twisted for no reason. But to the point a bit, it's just there really hasn't been that much to do anything of lately, apart from just repeating of the same hopes and the same problems and everything. But the games are starting now. I've got one that I want to do based on what I showed you still, and I might look at doing that for Friday, but then with what's going on with the charity thing that Sava's doing, I might leave it to the following week. But I will start doing a lot more shows as we get closer to the season. And thanks for having us on.
Always, man. Check out the Hotspur Hood box office, telling the truth to the world. When are you next on your channel?
I don't know if I'm doing a live because I think the same thing like Dan at the moment. I'm not saying the same thing I've said every single time. It's just boring. But I might be doing more videos. I might do a video on this game maybe. But yeah, that's it. Obviously going on tour soon, so check out for that. But other than that, there's not that much going on at the moment. But yeah, if you can like and subscribe, it does really help the channel. Not really asking for that much, really, to be honest with you, and that's it, really. If you like me talking the truth, and that's it, and I ain't changing the whole. I'm not changing my attitude on it, and that's it for me. The thing that's interesting tonight is I'm seeing a lot of people. And I'm looking at James at the moment. He loves Ange at the moment, but I'm getting that feeling at the moment that he's feeling the same way. He's getting that feeling, that same old feeling again. I'm getting from James at the moment. Even though don't change your opinion on Ange, please don't. I'm not here to change your opinion. No,
You won't.
but I do get that feeling. There's a lot of people that are loving Ange, but they've got that same feeling, that same old feeling again.
I'm not loving Ange. I just won't be Ange out until the manager's backed.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying. No, like I said, don't change your opinion on that.
Yeah,
but it's just, I'm just getting that
big
feeling.
up, mate. I appreciate it.
I'm just getting that feeling, and I think I'm seeing that from a lot of people now. So yeah, and it's only Tottenham that can make you feel like that, isn't it? But anyway. Just keep them like subscribing to Tottenham away. Oh yeah, well, you know what? I respect Southgate, but I stoned out of England for a long time, so it don't really make a blind bit of difference on that one. Yeah, please like and subscribe to everyone's channel, and please like and subscribe again to Mr. Box Office TV. Yeah, just have a good week, and that's it. And take care of yourselves. Back to you, still. I'm done. If you don't know, get to know.
That's right.
What about El?
Back to you. He's never done. Never.
Right.
El's TTID channel. When you next on?
Thursday on what are we now? We're Wednesday, aren't we? We're on Friday and we're on Sunday at 8 o'clock. We might do a 6 o'clock on a Sunday because I think 8 o'clock is a bit too late on a Sunday for 8 o'clock. So I'm going to speak to Adrian about that. But remember, I just wanted to go on what Box Office said about James. Remember what Conte said, right? I've seen the managers Tottenham Hotspur have had, and then there's the board, the owners, right? So he's putting the owners like you do. Guys, you want the owners to back the manager. That's all we want. The owners to give the manager what he needs to succeed, right? So without that, he's probably going to foul, right? If we don't get the positions filled, he's going to foul. But me personally, I'm looking forward to doing Spurs Diehards TPID with Adrian, EMF, and Chang. Chang is sort of a bit player at the moment because of the time difference, but we're going to get him involved. We've told him that he can do his own shows as well, you know, when it's good for him. But all I'd say, big up all these guys because they've all got fantastic channels, you know, and they've all got their opinions. I'm sorry if I was a bit rude to you, James. Sorry, I didn't mean that.
No, you're all right.
Yeah,
Vice
sometimes I
versa.
get a bit Greek.
No, you're all right.
Yeah, it's because when I'm passionate about a player, I won't back down. I'm just like a dog with a bone, right? So it's hard to beat me down.
Listen, Dave Scarlett's crap and Højbjerg's crap, and that's it.
It's okay.
Ellie's like Ange
I'll take that
Postecoglou
with
with
a pinch
Timo.
of salt. Right, I'll take it with right. So all I'd say is thank you very much for having me on, Stel. I really appreciate it, and what a great channel you've got. And
Whenever you
keep
lot
it
want,
going,
always welcome.
because you're proving a lot of people wrong. Yeah, you're proving a lot of people wrong, and so is Dan, and so is Box Office. James, you haven't got your channel, but you're a big personality on YouTube. So well done.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Well said, Els. Big up. Guys, everyone in the chat tonight, thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your comments. We tried to go for as many as we could. Yeah, just check out everyone's chat tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Everyone's going to be live now. The season's back up and running. So, yeah, enjoy.
Can I say one more
Have a good one.
Still? Can I say one more thing? It's my husband's birthday on Monday, and we're both going to QPR Spurs on Saturday. That's my birthday.
Sweet.
That's my first birthday present to him. But I have to sit with the QPR fans. Because he's a QPR fan, yeah. My husband. He's a big QPR fan.
Back in the day, I used to help in my uncle's fish and chip shop, and it was in Shepherd's Bush. They're all QPR fans around the corner, right? Loftus Road is such a cracking little stadium, man. Loftus Road is still got that.
Their fans are something else. As soon as they get the ball up to the halfway line, they go crazy. They're like mental. They've got such passion, and it's such a tin pot ground. It's very
That's a wicked ground. I love it.
It's a lovely ground, right?
Who was that Spurs player that went QPR and absolutely tore it up?
They had a fantastic team with Stan Bowles.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. You go back a bit further with Stan Bowles. What a player. Don Gibbons, Jerry Francis. They had some really good players. Rodney Marsh, you know.
Right, guys, I'm out. Take care.
James, see you later, my man. Take care, bro.
Take care.
They've only won one cup in their history, though, QPR.
Do you know what? We did a whole show today, Spurs v Hearts. We didn't once mention Dave Mackay.
Yes, and we should mention him. What a great player. Bill Nicholson said he was the missing jigsaw piece from his puzzle to make us great. And he did make us great because he was a big difference. Like when Liverpool signed Van Dijk, it made them fantastic. Yeah, when we got Mackay. I was too young, but my dad was telling me about him, right? I did get to see him play one game before he went back to Derby County because he had a really bad injury and he couldn't recover from it. But what a great player.
Isn't he that football player who famously grabbed the player by the neck? That famous photo.
Yeah, and he didn't like it. Steve Perriman told me he didn't like that picture because it painted him like a thug, and he wanted to be taken seriously because he was a very unique defender.
I quite like that. That's a bit of Roy Keane. I quite like that. We need some of that.
He personally didn't like it. Steve Perriman told me, because he didn't want to come across as a Scottish thug.
I don't like all these players all friends with each other after the game, going holiday together, managers hugging each other.
Roy Keane, Patrick Vieira is what you want. Roy Keane is my favourite all-time player.
That's why I said we've got too many nice players at our club. That's why I said we've got too many nice players at our club, and we want to sell some of them right now because of political reasons. I don't want to go into that. We all know what I'm saying there. So I'm sorry.
Political.
It's just.
Do you know what?
I don't want to end the show.
I just want to end the show with this, right? This guy here, Terry, right? He's an absolute legend. Do you know, I've got so much love for this guy, right? James Anthony Lee, you're too good to be on this channel. Time to leave. He comes in the comments after anything I post, dumping all his issues on me. He's dumping his issues now on this channel. And the thing is, why do you turn up every week, Terry? That's why I love him. These are my favorite fans. I'm going to shit on Tottenham away, going to shit on everyone else except for the ones I like, but I'm going to turn up every week. Terry, you're an absolute legend, my man. Love you to bits, bro. Love you to bits. Listen, there's channels with I don't like. Guess what? I don't watch them. I don't listen to them. I don't comment. I don't know what they do. But that's surely got to be the same thing to do. But anyway, big up Terry, man. I love you to bits.
What's your favourite channel, Phil, apart from this one? Come on, I'll put you on the spot now.
Favourite channel? Do you want me to be okay? Right, I'm going to be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. I don't really watch many channels because I'm just too consumed with running my own one. I mean, that's me being honest. But if I had to pick one channel, originally it was Tommy's channel because I got on really, really well with Tommy. I love Dan to bits as well, but Tommy was like the first guy I ever met, and he's the first guy I ever met doing this. So that's different. But
he's a top fella.
Listen, I like all yours channels, man. I like all you guys. I've got. I don't know why. I think I've been bloody roped in. Like they've just got a way of roping everyone in. But Ash and Marlon hit the right spot. I don't know what it is about them. I don't know how they do it, but they do. They're
cool dudes, aren't they? I personally like.
Yeah, but you're cool. Alex is cool. Dan's cool. There's a lot of cool people, but them two, I don't know what it is.
They've got.
It's Ash. He's always smiling. It's because Ash is always smiling. I think he's always smiling. That's what,
nice
Alex
vibe,
always smiling.
He's got a very. I love Ashmatic, don't you? And I really respect him as well. But I also like Dan.
I thought yesterday was very good. Because it was two people.
I enjoy going on Dan's channel. In terms of actually enjoying being on a channel, probably Dan's is the one I enjoy the most.
I love it.
I enjoyed yesterday.
Not that I get invited on lots of channels.
But I enjoyed yesterday because it was something that I've been clambing for a long time on Tottenham streams, and I don't think I'm going to see it because I don't think they help. I don't think we help ourselves. And Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United do it, and this is what was shown yesterday on Spurs Kings TV. One person that doesn't agree, one person has one opinion, one person has another opinion. Get them on the same show, and then you just let it go.
Yeah.
Last word on Spurs, Ricky on one, Dan on another side. That's exactly what I want. That's exactly what I want. I'm fed up with seeing echo chambers on Tottenham streams. I'm fed up of it. I'm going to say the same thing this season. I'm zoned out because I sit there and say you're not helping yourself, and I see Chelsea fans.
We're willing to jump to that other side to do this. It's just trying to get the other side onto this side to do it.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, but Dan, I'm just going to be honest with you. Yeah, we're weasels. We're so. No, maybe we should change my wording. But we're just soppy. We're so soppy, and we don't change up. We're never going to change. We're never going to change, and. I don't see it with Chelsea. Chelsea, they don't mind the arguments, they don't like the debates, don't mind if you don't like each other, Go on the stream and have a go at each other and have it out. Arsenal, you have it Arsenal, you have it Man United.
Alex, you know what? I'll be honest with you. I don't want to go on a show where they're not fans, they're accountants more than what they are fans. I don't want to go on a show where it's all about finance and money. I grew up loving football. Not the financials of the game, right? But now everyone's got to be an accountant. I can't be bothered for that. Likewise, I don't want to go on a show where people are too scared to talk about the chairman and the owners. That they're too petrified because they're worried that the fans watching might not like them. Oh, don't say that. It's all good and well saying to go on shows with these people, but at the same time, I'm sick of hearing their nonsense. Every year they're wrong. Every
that's the
year,
problem.
come
That's
May, we
the
win
problem.
nothing. But
Problem
every year they're
still,
wrong. We win
still,
nothing. They've proven to be wrong every single year. Last year,
still.
do you remember last year? We're cooking. We're going to win the league. Angie's going to win the cup. Terry Venables died. They're going to do it for Terry.
It's
Absolute bollocks. It's
still,
lies.
right?
It's just
Still,
fucking
right?
bullshit.
I'm part of her game too, right? And part of her game too, you have to sign a disclaimer that you're not going to say anything against the board or Levy. I didn't sign it. And I said, you take me for what I am, or you don't have me at all. And I didn't sign it, and they still took me on.
Mate, you get these journalists that go on these shows, and they're all the same. Yeah, well, Spurs are interested in this guy. They're speaking to him, but it's a complex deal, blah, blah, blah. Excuse me. We don't end up signing them. None of these journalists mentioned Archie
What's the
Gray.
difference with the last 4 years,
not
though,
one
bro?
journalist. Your boy Ali Gold. Did he predict that we're going to sign Archie Gray?
Yeah.
No.
What is the difference? What's the difference the last 4 years I've been on YouTube, bro? That's the point I'm making. That's why I'm done. That's why I'm going to be a nightmare this season, because I've seen this the last 4 or 5 years. I've
be a
been on
nightmare,
YouTube,
Alex.
and yes, I am going to be a nightmare. I'm going to be a nightmare because Mr.
No,
Box
you
Office,
don't
the
need
main
to-
event,
let's
is a nightmare. He's going to be a nightmare
Let's
for
do
every
that.
single one of it. Every single one of the Spurs fans is going to be a nightmare because I'm sorry, I'm done with this absolute rhetoric. Oh, we've got to be nice to each other. Oh, we've got to be all together. Well, you don't stream with other people though that don't agree with you though.
No.
So that's a big statement straight away, and it does not help
I
us
invite
at all.
everyone and anyone who wants to come on this channel.
But it
right?
doesn't
If they don't
help.
wanna come,
It does not help us
their
as
choice.
as a fan base, and it doesn't help the team either. Because at the end of the day, no one can see one person saying one thing, one person saying another thing. Let them have a go. It doesn't help, and I see it with Arsenal fan base. I see it with Man United fan base, Chelsea fan base. They're not afraid. They are not
Yeah,
afraid. Man City's.
but
I
Alex,
see
it's
it.
like I said, it's only one half that seems to be bothered about it. Please do get me on a show with someone with a different opinion. I thrive on that shit. I love it.
Yeah.
But trying to get someone on there,
It's boring.
but trying to get someone on there from that other side as such is practically impossible. Whereas if they was to make out a couple of calls to someone on this side, for instance, you'd have a queue. You'd have a queue willing to go on there and have it out. It just seems like the other side.
Well, this is why, Dan,
wants
it's
to
never going
stay
to work
away.
out, because the thing is, though, we're going to have the same old thing, and you know what the blueprint is to be a Tottenham a streamer now. Let's just twerk for the fan base, then you get a few subscribers and get a few likes, and that's it. And that just sums up why we are never going to be the team that we want to be back where we were back in the 1960s and 1980s, where now legends are saying, I'm fed up of going on about the same thing about what I did in the 1960s and 1980s, when I should be looking at the new generation saying, what are you going to do to make us look good? What can you show us some new memories now? Give us some new memories rather than looking back and saying, giving us old memories. I'm fed up with talking about the same stories when you should be showing the new age of what Tottenham should be looking in 2024.
That's what Ben Kaufman says. Ben Kaufman says, I've seen one cup, and he's 30 years old now, and he's seen one cup. You know,
I haven't seen many more.
2024, since 2024. Yeah. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm sorry. I can't sit here anymore and like sit here and just allow it, and that's it. Yes, I'm zoned out. I've zoned out, and yeah, I've got better things to do with my time. Mr. Box Office, well, Alex has got better things to do with his time. Yeah, because I'm not making no money out of this. But when I see people telling me, "Oh, you need to believe," What do I need to believe in? Stop telling me to believe in anything. Maybe have some bottle and have some balls and have a guy at Mr. Box Office and try and debate Mr. Box Office. Yeah, rather than talking in your own shows. Yeah, saying what you say in your echo chambers. Yeah, and saying nothing, and that's it. I'm sorry, I'm done. I'm filtered. I'm no filter this season. I'm done. I'm done. Yeah,
I think
I'll keep it
ways a bit
PG
of an
for
echo
you.
chamber.
I'll keep it
I think
PG
we're a bit
for
of
you.
an
Don't
echo
worry
chamber.
about that, because Alex learned the easy way, because I've got brought up the right way to do that. Yeah, but I won't keep it. I won't have no filter on this. I'm sorry. because I've seen the same thing the last 4 years, 5 years on YouTube. And I've seen the last 24 years and the last after that, 4 years up before that. I'm sorry, I'm done. There's teams out in this Premier League that are looking more like they want to win and showing the ambition and showing what they are as a club. Yeah, and today,
I'll tell you what,
now you're seeing people twerking for Verval and Archie Gray, yeah, and our youngsters. This sums up where we're going to be going next season. It's all planned out right now. The story's already been told already. You can see it right now, and you can see what the fan base are going to be like, and that's it. I'm sorry, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm filtered, yeah, and you'll see a better, more virgin, a guy that is going to be rhyming and rhyming and slanging people right now. Trust me, bro.
Do you know what? I can't wait for Alex to call in.
Go on, Alex.
I can't wait for Alex to call in till we are Tottenham TV when we have our.
Oh boy, I've already seen a preview of that. Yeah, Brian's a special one. He's really got a special on that one, isn't he? And then somebody else as well got a special. Yeah. Oh, saying that Archie Gray's a special guy, isn't he? Absolutely embarrassing. I'm sorry.
1 minute, Alex.
I'm done being nice.
Alex, what do you mean Brian's got a special one? I don't understand.
Oh boy, he's got a special video on there. Trust me. Oh my gosh, saying, "Oh, we're looking so good" and all that. But it's not him. It's not just him. I understand where Brian may be coming from, but there's somebody else on there. Oh my gosh, he's making out of that. We are so good right now. Oh my gosh, bloody hell! And we are Tottenham TV are scared of having big people on their channel who don't want to say who are scared. They are scared having the people that have a different opinion than them. They are scared. They're literally scared at their boots.
Sorry,
of having
Alex, I'm confused. Alex, I'm so confused. Has Brian said something you disagree with?
No, it's just listen. I'm sorry, but Brian's saying that these youngsters are really good, and that's it. I don't agree. I do not agree. What has changed? What has changed? I'm sorry. What has changed?
Look,
what has changed for me to make me feel like, yes, we're doing something?
Look, everyone's allowed their opinion.
Listen, I'm not saying that everybody's not allowed their opinion, but when they're making their opinion that I don't agree with, right? It's fire tonight. It's fire. I'm on fire tonight, bro. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not letting it go right now, bro. Right? Everyone needs to be accountable for what they're saying now, bro. And like, if I want to have a debate. That's it.
Alex, how do you evaluate Archie Gray and Bergvall? What do you think of them?
Well, I've already told you what I felt about them, Ellie, earlier in the show.
Again, because I missed it.
But it's getting late tonight anyway, because I know you want to end the show still anyway, man.
Yeah. I'm done, mate.
Let's have some cake.
That's the longest ever goodbye we've ever done. Listen, guys, big up to all of you. Big up to everyone. Was this still when you were on We Are Talking Tweets? Brilliant. Why?
I'm going to make a bacon sandwich.
I'll be back on there. I'll call in when the time's right. I'll call in.
Are you guys eating after this?
I'm going to bed.
Eating. No, I'm not eating. No. Too late.
That's not healthy. But you just said about bacon, so don't. I've got to go to bed.
Listen, I'm going to end it now, guys. Thank you for watching. Tune in to the rest of the week's shows on everyone's platforms. Big up, well done. Come on, you Spurs, and we'll be back soon. Good night. And Eddie's going to go and have some snacks. See you later.
I'm going to have some baklava.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.